I got all the media there. A prisoner cannot consent to have sexual relations with a prison guard. And then he starts sprinting down the street, just like running, like running away from the camera. Hello, Matt Cox.
Hello, Tom.
Happy 2026. I'm calling the shot, my man. This is going to be our year.
Yeah.
This is going to be the year we get a call from a production company saying that I love what you guys do. We're going to develop a whole game show around you two guys where Matt competes against 3 contestants picked from the court TV audience or whatever. And it's going to be a daily show, a weekly show, and they're going to throw a ton of money at us doing our little game show on national television.
I want it to be true.
This is going to be amazing. I'm going to finally, for the first time, get paid for doing this.
We have bought you lunch twice.
Twice. It's amazing.
Twice.
Yeah,
from Five Guys.
Exactly. But then you sent me a $10.99 for the cost of the lunch. That was kind of a rat effing. So speaking of that game show, here's what we're going to do today. And I want to reintroduce this because I know people are constantly finding your show. And your numbers, by the way, amazing. I mean, you're closing in on 1 million. I think 1 million by Valentine's Day, you think?
Yes.
Valentine's?
Yeah.
February 1st?
Absolutely.
February 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been like a 40,000 per subscriber leap just over the past since over the holidays.
60 a month.
Yeah,
it's about 60.
That's fantastic. Congratulations, you deserve it, and I'm proud to be the wind beneath your wings. So, we're gonna do a little game show today, as we've done I think 14 times so far. Where
oh my God,
isn't that amazing? I know it's like 28 hours of content, and where what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you a crime story. Usually from the files of the FBI. Some of the cases are cases that I had some involvement in. Other cases are just other FBI agent cases. And then at the end of the crime story, I'm happy to answer any questions you have. To the extent that I know the answers, I'll answer them. Then I want you to guess the sentence. How much time was this person sentenced to prison for? And then you make your guess, and then you change your answer 4 or 5 times, because that's what you do. And then at the end, we reveal what the actual sentence was. And if you are within a 10% variant,
is it 10% now?
20%.
10%. My God.
Wouldn't it be great if it was 10? A 20% variant of the actual sentence, you get a point. Colby's going to keep score, and you will either win or lose.
Well, I've been losing at 20%. I feel like it should be 25%. But anyway, go ahead. Now you're dropping.
I'm hoping you would get better at this over time.
You would think.
All right. You ready to launch into the first story?
We have some bonus
stories.
And
we have a bonus round.
Tell me about the bonus round.
I've picked 2, even though I think it was supposed to be just 1. Anyway, I've got a couple of cases of mine where I can tell you what happened and you can guess.
Oh, the shoe's on the other foot.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've done some show prep on your own show, my man. This is a new year for you. Matt Cox is turning a page. Today's a little more of a themed one. We're going to be talking about authority figures and authority situations.
Position of trust?
Yeah, kind of. We're going to stick it to the man today. We're going to be talking about prison corrections officers who kind of break bad, do the wrong thing.
Okay.
We're talking about some dirty cops, maybe ex-cops. We're going to talk about some dirty politicians, and we're going to talk about some CEOs who did the wrong thing. Okay. We're going to be talking about authority structures today, and we'll see if we can find a story in there that Colby can latch onto for his clickbait hook that he does on YouTube.
Is there anything about Somalian daycare centers?
People keep asking me to cover that. I am not covering it yet because there's no one's been charged.
Right.
And so I'm happy to sit here and shake my fist at the world about how awful the Somalis are if they were truly doing this in Minneapolis involving daycare centers. But I like to cover cases that there's a
resolution.
Well, not even a resolution. I'm happy to cover an indictment, but there's not even that yet. So I'm going to keep my powder dry on that issue. And but I think these were very interesting cases. Let me tell you about a story I had some involvement with. I wasn't the case agent on it, but it was back in Hawaii. One thing I'm very proud of during my career as an FBI agent is that I was never a supervisor. I went 26 years without a promotion. Okay, seriously, I went 26 years without a promotion. I had the exact same job the day I walked into the FBI as I did 26 years later, and that was being a special agent, working cases, which I think is the most honorable job at the FBI.
Did you ever even think were you interested in being a supervisor?
No, because once you're a supervisor, you're not working cases. You're managing people.
Okay, now you're a manager.
Right. And you're caught behind a desk. I want to be out on the streets, getting off my ass, knocking on doors, solving crime, and putting criminals in prison. People like you. Nothing personal. And But one thing I did do and volunteered to do, because I had some success as a case agent, is we had people who were training agents. And so a new agent right out of the academy has a training agent for his first 18 months in the field. And it's kind of like that, like the movie Training Day, but without like me forcing them to use cocaine and stuff like that.
Right.
It's just me kind of, them being able to come to me with questions, me running leads with them, kind of teaching them how to be an FBI agent on the job after they've already been educated from the academy. And I'm very proud that the agents who were my trainees, I consider them like my kids. They've all gone on to be fantastic agents. Some of them have gone into management. They've gone on to do great things. There was a fellow by the name of Elliot Potts. He was a new agent right out of the academy, and for some reason, and it wasn't clear to me, because I usually got the white-collar crime guys who had accounting backgrounds. They wanted people like me. And I think he was one of those guys. He may have had an accounting degree, but he was not assigned to me as my trainee. But he was it's just kind of a Barney Miller, bunch of cubicle type of situations on the squad there in Hawaii. And he was assigned a female as his training agent. And she was a fine agent, but she was not a very personable person. She's a real introvert and just sort of kind of kept to herself. And so one time I had Elliot run some leads down for me, and to go interview this guy and that guy. Just again, you try to get the new agents out there on the streets. He comes. I ask him to do it nicely as a favor. He does it. He does a fine investigation. He's a great agent, but the paperwork was all effed up. Like, it was just terrible. And so I look at the paperwork, and he was shredding his handwritten notes, which you're supposed to maintain those and stuff like that. And so I walk over to his cubicle, and I was like, Elliot, good job in the investigation, but the paperwork's a mess. I go, who's your training agent?
Right.
And he's like, says the girl's name. We'll say her name was Carol.
Right.
And Carol. And Carol's sitting over there, and she goes, what's going on? I go, why don't you teach this guy, this kid, how to be an agent? And I go, he's clearly a new agent right out of the academy. He's got talent, but you're not doing anything to mentor him or just show him the way the FBI paperwork works.
She burst into tears. And
no.
straight to HR.
She got in my face. She starts she gets up. She starts yelling at me like, why don't you mind your own business? You got a problem with me? I go, I don't have a problem with you. I'm telling you I do your job. You are being part of your job is to train Elliot, and you're not training him. Right. And I go, I'm happy to do it. If he wants to, you want to say you're no longer able to be his training agent. And she said, why don't you mind your own business? And poor Elliot's just sitting there with his eyes wide as saucers. He was not interested in being a part of this fight. I took Elliot under my wing informally, and he became a fantastic agent. And he's still, as far as I know, a great agent to this day. Haven't talked to him in a couple of years. Elliot.
What happened to Kelly?
I don't know.
Whatever her name was.
I don't know. She may still be there. I mean, we didn't really get along, but we made peace after that and did some cases together and stuff like that. But she's a fine agent. She just should not have been a training agent for anyone.
Right.
Right. So I'm just sort of setting the stage. Elliot had a case, and this is his case, but I had some involvement with it on the periphery, and we'll talk about that. So you're aware from your history that it is a crime for a prison corrections officer to have sex with an inmate.
I've heard that.
You've heard that.
I've heard that.
Even if it's ostensibly consensual.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
So my wife was at Coleman camp when it was a woman's camp, because it's now a man's camp. After COVID, they switched it. But she was there, and multiple officers were tied up with in a lawsuit and the whole thing. But basically the women were, like they were going out of their way to flirt with, like they're trying to get these guys into relationships, because once they get them in a relationship, that guy will bring them in stuff. And it was more than just consensual. It was the male.
The women are being seductresses.
Of course. And these guys are, some of these chicks, like there's no way these guys are, come on, you're never getting this chick. You shouldn't, she's not in love with you. Yeah. But I mean, I obviously I think it's wrong, because it puts everybody in a bad situation. And it puts the guards in a bad situation and everybody across the board. In fact, in one case, one of the guards was named in the lawsuit, and he was so despondent about it that he actually took his service piece and went at the beginning of his shift. He drove and parked his car in the parking lot, and want to say somebody said he actually took the gun and put it to his chest and pulled the trigger and killed himself. And I knew that CO.
Oh my.
But yeah, I mean, obviously they can't do it, but I think that they charge these guys where like a lot of these guys get charged with like, like forcibly,
the R word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the idea is that it's considered to be a sex crime because the power dynamic between the guard and the inmate is just so vast that it's almost like a child. They can't consent.
Right. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that the way the lawsuit's written up, it's the guards targeting the girls. But because my wife was there, she's like, it's the women targeting the men. But also keep in mind, too, what can they say?
Yeah.
Because you're going to believe these women because they're in the vulnerable position. And the guards are these big, huge, hulking guys. And these women are like, I didn't want to do it. He forced me and he got me in a corner and I couldn't
but the
get
inmate
out.
didn't take an oath of office. So
Right. No, You're right. You're right. It's just a horrible situation. Like the best, you just avoid it. They should be avoiding it.
Right. So we have a in Hawaii, what do you call it? I guess an FDC, a federal detention center.
Yeah.
It's right there at the airport. Actually, it's got the most beautiful view in the world. Like you're overlooking the ocean on Oahu, but there's no exercise yard. So you spend all your time, in the cell, just sort of looking out, pawing at the window.
Look at the little tiny.
Yeah, those tiny. Yeah, they do. It drives them insane, especially the ones who are actually from Hawaii. And I think you serve maybe the end of your sentence there, and while you're awaiting trial, or any sentence less than 1 year. But it serves as an immigration detainer jail for people who are going to be committed a crime or and are going to be sent back to their home country. So there was a woman named I can't remember what her name is, but she was from Thailand, and she was going to be sent. She was there on an immigration detainer. I don't know what crime she committed that wound her up there to begin with, but she's waiting to be deported to Thailand. And there was a guard there named Richard who took a liking to her, and began accepting oral favors from her on the reg. And this Thai woman was no fool. At one point, when she accepts his load, she takes her shirt,
Kept the sample.
spits it into the shirt, and then like crumples it up and like puts it in her cell, and then reports it. And then my buddy Elliot gets the case, and he interviews her. Very interesting. Do you have any proof? She goes, why, yes, I do. And she basically delivers him the soiled jumpsuit, which he then has to get a DNA sample of the guard and then send it to the FBI lab. And it came back with his stuff on it. Right? Pretty solid case.
Yeah, you would think.
Right. And so he gets charged with whatever the crime is. And pleads guilty. And so there's two little stories. My favorite part of the story is, do you know what the guard's name was? I said it was Richard. His last name was Seaman. No. His name, and I swear to God, you could Google it, was Dick Seaman.
Really?
Yeah. Dick Seaman, and this was his crime, and that was his undoing. So I was the media coordinator in addition to being a hotshot younger agent at the time.
They wanted you to do a
made
press
sure.
release?
Oh no. I got all the media there on the courthouse steps. I'm talking about Dick Seaman this, Dick Seaman that. And I was very, very friendly with the reporters and the media in Hawaii and the cameramen, because I was out there on the courthouse steps a couple times a week, because there's not a whole lot of crime in Hawaii, right? So every time something happened and I would kind of pitch them the case, they were like, let's do it, because there's just not a whole lot that goes on there.
Right.
And I was decent on television. They liked me. To this day, they're still my friends. And right now I have a contract with Hawaii News Now as a crime analyst, where I still do TV work for them. But and so I get them outside and give my talking points, and they're waiting for Dick Seaman to leave his initial appearance, and he does the dumbest thing. I've only seen this once. He comes down the courthouse steps. The cameramen flock to him and start asking him questions. And then he starts sprinting down the street, just like running, like running away from the cameraman. The cameramen are thrilled because they've got the most boring job in the world. They start running after him, and he runs up the street. He runs to the outdoor shopping center. They're chasing him around the shopping center. He's trying to hide behind it. It's all on YouTube. I put it up there because it's just, I've never seen anybody run from the cameras like that, as opposed to just saying no comment and walking away.
Right.
He chose to sprint away. Good old Dick Seaman. Yeah. So given all that, how much time are you going to give Dick Seaman?
He probably got probation.
Really? I'm asking.
Yeah, I think let's say he got well, let's say 12 months.
All right, so he loses his job, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right off the bat. And so you're saying he gets 1 year in prison for legally the R word against this poor vulnerable woman.
Well, you know what happened to like the 8 guards that were tied up in the Coleman thing?
What happened?
Nothing. They all lost their job.
Administrative sanctions, basically? Yeah.
No, they lost their job. Yeah, they lost their jobs. That's
They
it.
never charged.
Never charged.
Interesting.
Right.
Well, they didn't have young Special Agent Elliott on the case.
So
Do you think that was because it was a he said, she said type of thing? And
on theirs?
Yeah.
Oh no, they had all kinds of proof. Like it absolutely happened. There was, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that most of these guys, I think almost all of them just kind of admitted that it had happened. But
was the investigation done by the Inspector General overseeing it, or was it done by the FBI?
I want to say it was the FBI.
And the FBI just walked away with a no pros on that?
No.
You're saying that no one was prosecuted?
I guess we should look it up.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's neither here nor there with me. I'm surprised to hear that.
Coleman lawsuits, like sexual whatever
Sexual.
rapes, lawsuits, correctional officers. I want to say it was 2000 and it would be like I'm sorry, it would be
2021,
Yeah.
May 2021, 15 women. Let's see.
Who investigated?
Who investigated? Like, you talking about like
It's
FBI?
either the FBI or the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Inspector General.
A lawsuit was settled in May 2021 where 15 women allegedly had years of sexual assault. Let me see.
That's a civil suit, though.
Yeah. Yeah,
The federal government paid. No.
I don't think they were ever charged. I think they all
Okay,
lost their
alright,
jobs because
alright.
that's the whole thing is that because Jess followed the whole thing.
Well, I can tell you for sure because I was there. Dick
Yeah.
Seaman was charged. Dick Seaman pled guilty. Dick Seaman went to a sentencing. My question for you is what happened at that sentencing, Matt Cox?
14 months.
Really? Because you were at probation, then
Yeah,
you were
I
at
know.
12 months, now you're at 14 months.
I know, but you get me rattled. So 14 months.
All right. Do we want to? The correct answer, 20 months.
Fucking month.
All right, let's do another story with a very similar fact scenario, but I want to ask you a question first. I know you've only served time in the federal prison, but I know you spent a lot of time with other people and as part of your show who've done time in other prison systems. Do you think it's fair to say that the Federal Bureau of Prisons is the best funded and most professional system of prisons in the U.S.?
Yes, in the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anybody would deny that. Yeah.
I mean, better than Vermont state prisons and.
Well, I think other prisons, they don't have the budget. Like they give the other state-run prisons might give the inmates more, more programs and because there's a lot of states where that you can have a TV in your cell. You can have they give them all things that I'm like, oh, you got a TV? Yeah. Insane things and lots of programs and things of that nature. But for the most part, the federal prisons, they're all air conditioning. They're all fairly nice. They're all well funded.
Mm-hmm. You know anything about the Federal Correctional Institute in Dublin, California?
I mean, only that I know people that have gone there.
Okay. We have a 36-year-old corrections officer named Andrew Jones who worked at the Dublin, California FCI.
Okay.
As part of his job, he would supervise the female prisoners who would work in the food services department, right? They're making the meals and stuff like that, and he was going to be their guard, their supervisor or whatever. And he began accepting oral favors from 3 of those inmates.
I'm starting to think that some of these guards are unsavory. I mean,
Shocking. Or these women are just insanely good looking. In the kitchen, the bathroom, warehouse, and the utensil storage closet. More soup, please. It's important to note, obviously, as we said, it's illegal, even if it's consensual, ostensibly, for all the reasons we discussed earlier. But Andrew was a little rougher. He demanded that these women have a code of silence and don't tell anybody. And he enforced that through violence and threats of violence against the girls. I want you to keep that in mind when you're guessing the sentencing.
Okay.
Right. Eventually, of course, it's going to spill out, right?
Yeah.
You can't keep a secret like that. And so the FBI and the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General investigate. Andrew's interviewed, and Andrew lies and lies and lies in his interview with the FBI. Okay. But even without a confession, the evidence is strong enough to make the case. He is charged with multiple counts of abusive contact with prisoners. That was the crime. He pled guilty, and he was sentenced in federal prison. I'd like to know from you, based on that slight different fact scenario with 3 named victims, threats of violence, lying to the FBI, how much time are you going to give Andrew?
I think lying in general is like, I think you get like, isn't it like a couple of years? Like
I didn't
years
see that he was charged with with a specific count of lying to a federal agent. That was not in the court documents I reviewed. But it was definitely brought up at the sentencing and brought up to the judge. So the judge was aware of it.
I'm going to say 120 months.
120 months?
I mean, yeah.
That's 10 years in prison.
Yeah. Thanks for the math. Yeah.
I'm a CPA. I'm a CPA by trade.
But don't you think that's a vastly different, situation as opposed to the other woman who
you're ready to give the other woman probation.
The other CO.
The CO probation.
Yeah, because I felt like it was more consensual. With this one, it doesn't sound nearly as because you've got 3 women saying that no, it's threats of violence.
No, it's threats of violence to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. You've got 100% control over this person.
You're making my argument for me. I'm the law and order guy in this conversation.
Yeah, I think that seems reasonable.
Okay,
it seems reasonable.
Right.
And look, he's gonna do about 8 years, eight and a half. I don't think he'll get any FSA credits because it's no. You know what? He would get FSA credits. He'd probably still get FSA credits.
Right. How much time he actually does is a whole different discussion.
Yeah, that's irrelevant. I'm just saying, you give him 10 years, he might be out in 6.5.
Okay.
He'll be fine.
So you're going 10 years on this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. The correct answer, Matt Cox, 8 years in
Come
prison.
on, man. I got that.
No, you do not.
What are you talking about?
20% of 8 is
20% of 10.
It's not 20% of 10. It's 20% of the sentence,
Oh,
not 20% of his cockamamie guess.
Come on.
I don't make the rules, buddy. It's your game show.
I think that we need in the comments people. I think that's come on. Ridiculous.
I don't know what to tell you. The art of writing letters has pretty much disappeared from this world. People just don't write handwritten letters. But I imagine that's still a thing in prison. Was that a big deal, getting mail and sending mail, and people would write long handwritten letters to each other? Was that a big thing in prison?
It's huge. It's huge. You get your name called at mail call. That's a big, might seem like nothing now, but when you're so deprived of, any kind of stimulus, and people are writing you a letter, and it's good.
Good.
Stuff. Even though you have an email system.
That's really what I wanted to ask you. Has it been replaced by the emails? Could your wife email you while you were in prison?
She can email you, but it's still nice when someone sends you a postcard or you get something like that.
Okay, got it. And prisoners often wrote letters out, right? That was a thing?
Yeah.
Were those letters read by the prison, or they say they were?
It depends. It depends on what like if you're an ADX, everything you have is read. Or like the pen, almost everything's read. If you're in the medium or the low, they randomly select them. Just like they randomly select the emails to read. But they have a system that picks up on words, obviously in the email system.
Yeah, interesting. So there was a Georgia inmate, it had to be a federal prison, named Travis Ball. And he was serving 2 years in prison. I'm thinking it was for credit card fraud. I'll explain why in a minute. And he cooks up a brilliant scheme to get out of prison. What he does is he writes a letter to his sentencing judge, pretending to be the U.S. Secret Service agent who investigated his case. The letter explained to the judge that there was a mistake during the investigation and Travis should be let out of prison. Good plan?
I'm sure in his mind. I don't think this guy's a rocket scientist.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'll explain to you later why Travis is in prison. It was actually not credit card fraud. But that was his plan. So he writes this letter to the judge. The judge gets the letter, and he smells a rat right away. Right? Probably because the envelope was stamped inmate mail by the prison. Right? So the judge calls in the FBI to investigate. And the FBI matches this letter to another letter received by the local sheriff, purporting to be from the FBI, asking that Travis be released so he could work on a top secret undercover assignment for the feds. Right? So the FBI is now aware of 2 letters that are basically asking Travis to be released from prison. Taken together, those 2 letters are what the investigators called a clue. Mm-hmm. Okay? So as the agents are preparing to interview Travis, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, the people who do public housing, They get a letter threatening to burn down the building and kill the government employees inside. Same handwriting, same fingerprints, same DNA on the paper.
Okay.
It's Travis.
Yeah.
You'll be shocked to learn. Now is a good time, I think, for me to explain that the reason Travis was actually serving 2 years because he was sending threatening letters to the government containing fake anthrax. That's how he got himself in trouble with Secret Service.
He's got a real problem with the mail system in general. He doesn't seem to understand how this is supposed to or it works.
Right.
Like, you're not supposed to be doing this.
I had a pen pal when I was a kid. It was nothing like this. So given that, keep in mind, Travis is in prison. How much extra time, little curveball for you, Travis pleads guilty.
Yeah.
How much extra time did they tack on to the end of his 2-year sentence for these letters threatening HUD and trying to scam the judge and scam the local sheriff? How many extra months or years in prison? Or 0. It could be a 0. I know you would like that.
33 months?
33 months extra? Talk to me about your thought process there.
I hate it when you do this.
I think the audience likes it, though.
I have a moment where I feel really secure with my answer.
Hey, listen, this show is Inside True Crime with Matthew Cox. They tune in, not for me. They tune in for you, my man. They want to know what's going on inside that brilliant, scheming little mind of yours.
That was yeah. I don't know, I'm thinking it's kind of like, I don't want to say, I'm not even sure what the charge would be. It's not like, I don't think it's like.
I think it's probably mail fraud.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe the threat for HUD.
And mail fraud, like you can get like 20 years.
Yeah, it's
for
a
mail
20 year maximum sentence, right?
But
so he also has a criminal history category.
Yeah.
But he only got 2 years for sending fake anthrax out.
But you're in prison. And you've got an extra criminal history. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know what the time frame is, but one, he's now got an extra criminal history because is in prison. But two, I'm pretty sure that they give you an enhancement of another criminal history point if you commit another crime while on probation.
Yeah, I know that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's 2. Like, so even if I was going to say, he's going to get about a year, he's not getting a year anymore. You're going to have to really jack it up. So I think 33 months seems.
33 months?
Yeah.
Little shy of 3 years, a little more than 2 years.
Yeah, because it's just the stupidity of it. It's almost like you want to say, like, this guy doesn't have a chance of getting out. But it's really not about the possibility of him pulling this off. It's that he doesn't know that.
Right.
You know, his intent is he thinks he's going to be able to escape prison.
Well, this is a new Matt Cox for 2026 because it sounds like you're really sticking to your guns that 33 months is the way to go for this guy.
Well, I also know guys that have escaped prison.
Really?
Yeah, and didn't get recharged. They actually just lost time, or they hit him for like gain time, like they lost like 35 months. I know a guy that actually walked away from a camp and was caught. Like 3 years later, he's caught. And they bring him back. Of course, he goes to the medium now. And he got, I want to say he got like 34 or 36 days taken away for good time. Like, that's it. Now, keep in mind, he said a couple months later, he got caught stealing bread. You know, you just take a couple pieces of bread, put it down your pants.
Yeah.
He got patted down, and they found the bread at the chow hall. He got 54 days taken away for the bread.
It's like Les Mis.
Right. But my escape... I got 34 days. Yeah. So sometimes they don't even charge him.
Right.
But let's say 33 because he's such an idiot.
Well, I tried to talk you out of it, but so 33 months, he got an additional 5 years. I feel like I did my part.
It's not. It's I'm like over 40% off. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
5 years.
5
He's
years.
an idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot who ought not to be out on the streets. No. He's an idiot who ought not to be impregnating people. He's an idiot who ought not to be writing letters. They need to take his stamps away.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, but he sounds like he's harmless.
Yeah. Talk to me about healthcare in prison.
What am I? I'm 3.
You're 0 for 3. But I will say, if you hit it on the head, you get double the points. So,
is this the rule for 2026?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I'll try not to feed you the answer like I did last episode. Talk to me about healthcare in prison. Like, was it good, bad? I mean, the price was right, but
You get what you paid for.
really,
Yeah.
it's not good.
No.
Like
No, it's funny. You could tell you. I actually have the story. I mean, I've seen 3 or 4 people just die that have gone to medical over and over again for problems.
Talk to me about what is at medical, and I'm going somewhere with this. Is it doctors? Is it nurses? Is it paramedics? Is it just like a inmate
like
with a
an
can
R.
opener? What is it?
No,
Who's
it's like
there?
what are the RNs that can prescribe medication?
Nurse practitioner.
Yes, yeah. So it's one of those,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody and they'll call them doctor. So they'll have one local doctor for like the whole common complex,
right.
that supposedly is monitoring everything. But usually it's just some doctor at a hospital who's letting them use their license.
Yeah.
And the nurse practitioners are the ones that you see. And when you walk in and you tell them what's wrong, they type it on a computer. So you're saying you have a rash? You're like, yeah. And then, is it itchy? Okay. And they type it all up, and then they come back and they go, okay, here's what's wrong. And you're like, yeah, but that's not what's wrong. Like I've been here before.
Poison sumac.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's what happens is that they just don't really have anything. They give you some medication, or they give you whatever medication they're allowed to give you. Like, oh, you should get this medication, but this is what we're told to give you. And it's like, fuck.
It's interesting to me that someone would go to the trouble of being a nurse practitioner, which kind of means you could write your own ticket, and chooses to work in a prison or a corrections environment.
Well, you're not going to believe this, but nobody gets to the top of their field and ends up working for a prison. A lot has gone wrong in these people's lives, and you can tell. Like
even the medical professionals that you were.
Yeah,
dealing
I mean, listen, there's a lot of broken English. It's a lot of broken English.
Interesting.
Oh, so what is the problem? Like, oh boy.
Yeah, I just thought maybe some people just like the idea of a government job with a pension and things like that.
No, listen, every once in a while they'll bring in like the military. So they'll bring in like military guys, and it's like these are
like trainees. You think? Like
I think what happens is sometimes they get so like people have quit, and so it's like an emergency, and we have to bring in people like doctors from the military to come swoop in and help, and they'll do that. And so 3 months later they'll have a new guy, and he'll be there for 18 months. Then he leaves, and then this is the funniest thing. Do you know what was decent at as far as medical is concerned? Dental. Now it's slow, like you're not getting a cleaning every year, but I had them rebuild a tooth. Like I had literally broke a tooth off, and they went in. He was like, I can pull it. He's like, the truth is, he's like, I think I can rebuild this tooth.
Now, help me out. Is that dentist a federal employee of the U.S. Bureau of Prisons, or is he on contract, or is he is it a side hustle where he's billing out by the day, or how does that work?
I don't know. I mean, they don't. But I do know they're there pretty much all the time, and they're giving cleanings, and they're giving sometimes they're just pulling the tooth. Like you got a really bad cavity, and it's like, okay, I can pull the tooth, or I can. And a lot of these inmates are idiots. Like they're like, just pull it, bro, just pull it. Like
a big gap in your mouth.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? These are your fucking teeth. But I know
You'll never get a YouTube show like that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they it's funny because I would put in, and I probably only had my teeth cleaned 3 or 4 times in the 13 years, but I have had. Like they will fix stuff. Like in the state, like all they got, it's like if you only have a hammer,
every problem looks like a nail.
Every problem looks like a let's pull that fucker.
Interesting. So about 45 minutes from Detroit, 45 miles from Detroit, there's a federal prison in Milan, Michigan.
Okay.
A low security facility housing about 1,600 male inmates. Fun fact, John Dillinger served time there in the 1930s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
The prison employed a dedicated nurse practitioner. We're going to call her Allison, and she provided on-site medical care to the inmates. Our subject, though, is 24-year-old Taiwan Gray. When Taiwan was 18, he went to state prison for criminal sexual conduct. And when he was out on parole, Detroit police caught him carrying a stolen gun. And then he went to federal prison then for being a felon with a firearm. So that's how he wound up there. He was sentenced to 3 years in this Milan prison. Okay, so just giving you some background as to what brought him there. Okay. So one day, Nurse Allison is performing a medical checkup on Taiwan, and something happened, and the inmate snapped. He grabs Allison's throat, smashing her head against the wall. Bam, bam, bam. And then he grabs her wrists, preventing her from radioing for help.
Okay.
Right? There was no corrections officer there at the time, probably in violation of all sorts of policies. Allison falls to the floor. Taiwan knees her in the abdomen and starts choking her, strangling her out. Blackness is coming for poor Allison. And then another inmate, who I'll say is a hero, you may not say he's a hero, but I'll say he's a hero, sees what's happening and springs to Allison's rescue, dragging Taiwan off the nurse until corrections officers could get there and intervene.
Okay.
Saved her life, I say. That's what I say. You may not say it. I say that. Nurse Allison's taken to the hospital, and she's treated for her injuries, and let's hope she's doing okay. Bless her heart. But this attack took place on a federal reservation, which means that the FBI is called in to investigate this attack. And the investigation culminated in Taiwan being charged and pleading guilty to this assault on a federal reservation. How much extra time is Taiwan going to get at the end of his sentence for attacking Nurse Allison?
I don't think we've ever done an attack. No, this is a family show.
Manson family.
God, you know, it's so funny because like violent crime doesn't get that much time in the federal system, but it's against an
It's inmate on inmate.
if it's inmate on inmate, but if it's inmate on civilian, which is pretty much what she is, I'm gonna and this guy's off the. I'm gonna say another 10 years. Say 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, he tried to choke her to death.
Well,
He tried to choke her to death, and he's criminal history. And it's once again, you're incarcerated. He's already been.
Let me say it differently. Only 10 years?
Only 10?
I mean, this is
10.
functionally attempted murder. I mean,
I think that 10. So I said, 10 years.
I'm going to stick with
14. 14 years.
14 years?
14 years.
I don't mean to push you up. I could push you down, too. I'm just...
God.
I have the joystick here.
And guys in the comments are like, bro, he's playing you like a fiddle, bro.
All right, let me again, Taiwan has a history also. I mean,
I know. I'm assuming at least 2 to 3
felon with a
criminal history.
firearm, criminal sexual conduct
Right.
Prior to that. I mean, he's only 24 years old. This takes place on a federal reservation, and Allison's a pretty sympathetic victim, right? This is not some inmate.
But is it federal prison?
Yeah.
It's a federal
'cause
prison
he's
on a
doing-
federal reservation. I mean, on an Indian reservation.
No. I'm sorry. A federal reservation is the term for any land that the federal government owns. Not Indian reservation. That's a different term.
okay,
There's federal
okay.
reservation. If I murder you at the Pentagon,
Yeah.
that's a federal reservation. If I murder you at City Hall, it's not.
Right. Okay. Yeah. 14 years.
14 years. You're going with 14 now.
14 years.
Okay. You feel comfortable with that?
She didn't die.
Wow, you're so heartless.
I want to know what happened to the guy that yanked
I
him
do
off.
too. I do too. Is there? And I tried to, and I did research on that. Is there any mechanism to give him some favor?
Yeah, of course. Of course, there's a Rule 35. They could cut his time in half or let him out. Say maybe he was 4 years from the door.
Problem is his name was never publicly disclosed. There wasn't any.
because they
obviously
don't want to get hurt.
It wasn't in the case file involving Taiwan's case.
Okay.
All right. So tell me. Let's move on. Where are we with Taiwan?
We're at 144 months.
144. That's 14 years.
That's 12. What am I saying? Anyway, 14 years.
14 years. Okay. Correct answer. You're gonna love this. 10 years.
Do you see what he did there? You see what he did there? I still got it though. Wait, 14 to 10. Oh, listen. All right, I'm going to the bathroom.
We can both use a break.
That is such bullshit. That is such bullshit.
All right, we back?
We are back, and we are 0 for 4. We were almost 2 for 4.
Wow, bullshit.
But we are 0 for 4.
It'd be amazing if I pitched a no-hitter.
I should win if I get 20. If I get 20, this is okay.
25? But
I mean,
You're
saying I have to get over 50%. Like I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah, first day on the show. Have you met Carol from HR? Yeah. You've talked a lot about your prison experience, and I've learned a lot from you on that. I have not heard you, because I don't watch your show, talk much about your experience at the halfway house.
Right.
What's a halfway house like? I know you used it as a dating pool and a way to meet girls and maybe audition a bride or two. But what's it like in the halfway house? Is it restrictive? Is it just like living at home with your mom? Is it give me a short version on what's it like in a halfway house?
You sleep.
Is it a
in-
house? Like, is it physically
No, not usually. Usually, it's like it'll be attached to let's say a Goodwill. Goodwill will have an operation, right? They're selling whatever stuff, and then they'll attach it to like a huge area in the back. And let's say you've got, and they're all different, right?
Like a homeless shelter?
Yeah, like a homeless shelter. It's all different. Sometimes it's they'll have separate rooms. They'll have like 10 guys per room, something like that. Sometimes it's a big room and you'll have 80 guys in a big room, just bunk bed after bunk bed, after a little bit of space. But what they do is they count you just like prison. Technically, you're still in the Federal Bureau of Prisons custody.
Yeah.
And so what happens is they supposedly help you get a job, and then you check out in the morning, you go to your job, you come back after the job. They used to take, I've been told that they don't do this anymore. When I was there, they took 25% of your gross. And then you have to save 10% or 20%, whatever's left over. They'd make you go open up a savings account, and you have to save money. And I've saved way more than that. But yeah, that was it. And they feed you. Like when you leave, they give you like a bag of lunch.
Like mom when you're heading off to second grade.
And everybody would complain like, "Oh, the bad. I'm just gonna buy a lunch." I'm like, "You're gonna buy a lunch? Like buying a lunch like it's $15 a day for 5-6 days a week." I do the math. It's like, look, I'll eat the fucking bologna sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save money.
Right.
So but it's very restrictive, right? Like if you don't have a job, you have to clean all the time. They're counting you all the time. They make you miserable while you're there because they want you to get a job. And a lot of these guys are just jerk offs. They don't want to get a job. They're like, you just want to go to home confinement. And you're not going to believe this. Inmates, federal or state, are just not typically the sharpest knives in the drawer. But yeah, and I think most of them, from my understanding, I don't think I've talked to anybody that hasn't said that they're all co-ed. They're all of them. So there's always men and women, and
Now, obviously not living in the same giant bunk bed
you have you have a men's room but yeah, that's it. But it does suck. And keep in mind, like you can't drink, you can't all the things.
Does it suck because you've tasted freedom now, or is it just such a joy to be there after actual prison, or is it about the same? You know what I'm getting at? Like,
I think it's worse.
It's like pulling out a thorn. Like, oh my God, this halfway house is the best. I can't believe where I was a month ago in this federal detention center. But
no, because I think
it still feels like confinement.
Oh, it's absolute confinement. It's worse, and I've said I would have, and almost everybody that's been in one, and they're all different. Like I said, most people would tell you if they could do all their time in prison and then just go straight home, they would. Mm-hmm. I, of course, had no money, so I'm grateful for getting 7 months and being able to save money. I was like terrified of. I know guys that they let out. They have no money, nowhere to go. Okay, report within 48 hours to your probation officer. Like, where am I going?
Yeah.
Like, they leave you at the bus station. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So that's why I was thrilled, because I could save money, and I did. I saved a good chunk of money. But a lot of guys don't. Like I was asking, it's still confinement. It's still confinement. Okay. It sucks.
Interesting. Let's talk about a guy, Latavius McRoy, 28-year-old fella. He served 85% of his sentence for bank robbery. And then he's released to live in a halfway house in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
And he generally...
What was his name?
Latavius McRoy. MACKROY.
Is this an African-American gentleman?
Yes. How'd you know? With the name, with Mac, I thought you might think Irish. Sure and be good, and I'm Latavius McRoy. Always have to be Lucky Charms.
Oh my God, we're gonna get some flack.
Hey, I don't know how you figured it out. Because he generally behaved himself, he earned the right to a weekend home pass to spend time with his family.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good. And so during his first weekend home pass, he robbed a bank.
I was going to say he robbed the bank.
Using a demand note.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Next weekend, gets another home pass. And he robs one bank on Friday and 2 on Saturday. So he's got 4 bank robberies under his belt during his halfway house, 2 weekends in a row.
Stepping it up.
Problem is, Latavius, when he left his demand notes behind. And the problem with that is that the FBI, having been there myself, is pretty good at lifting fingerprints off of paper. You just spray it with stuff, and they this purple thing, and it comes, and the fingerprints come right out. Further investigation found that Latavius was wearing clothing in his current halfway house wardrobe, and during the robberies. And cell phone geolocation placed him at the site of all 4 robberies.
And his ankle monitor and the pass he requested said, I'll be going by the bank. No.
As you can imagine, this criminal mastermind was arrested and charged.
Here's putting the cuffs on him. How'd you figure it out?
Well, he took it to trial. And he lost.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. The evidence was pretty good against Latavius, our Irishman. Given that fact scenario and the fact that he was at the halfway house when he did this, how much time are you going to get? Was he sentenced after his trial?
There were notes.
Demand notes.
Still in custody.
Volume. There's also a volume factor here.
Right. Jesus.
I don't know the content of the demand notes, but let's say they threatened violence if you didn't hand the money over.
Okay.
It wasn't pretty please giving the money.
Right. Most guys I know that use a note get, if they're free, they've never been in trouble before, they get 3 or 4 years. But this guy's off the chart. So let's say, I'm going to say 120 months. I want to say 180 though. I want to say 15 years.
Oof, you're a hanging judge today.
I don't believe a thing you say. I'm going to say 120.
120.
120.
All right, so that's 10 years in prison.
Yeah.
Right. Probably. Think he gets another crack at a halfway house when he gets out? Does he get the 85% deal? Does he?
Yeah,
That's an honest question.
I was gonna say I don't know. I wouldn't. If I was his counsel, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know, Latavius. Yeah, lucky the Irish. Yeah. No, he did not go into another halfway house. He does not get another.
He has to serve every day of the what you think is going to be 10 years. You said, or do you go 15?
I'm gonna go 10.
Okay. And final answer?
Yeah.
All right. The judge sentenced him to 20 years in prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a note.
It was 4 notes. Wow. And he went to trial.
Yeah, I was gonna say he went to trial. If you get penalized for going to trial, but still, because if he had pled guilty, he probably would have got. I don't know. They might have been offering him 5 or 10 years if he just pled guilty.
Yeah. I don't know why you went to trial.
No, he's an idiot.
Yeah. Should have known better. Poor Latavius. Still there today. This is there's a lot of Irish guys in the prison to keep him company. They could, all right. Corned beef. Ever do time with an ex-cop?
Yes, several.
Yeah. What were they? Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. What were they in for, generally?
Either corruption or like taking bribes.
Yeah.
Or I was locked up with, I want to say, Justin, I forget his name. He's the cop, and he's out now. He's the cop that was in New York that beat up a suspect and then took was it the broom handle?
Oh, I remember that case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the hoo-ha.
He got 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a
Nice
question.
guy.
Do the police officers have a tough time in prison? Like, are the other prisoners out to get them and stuff like that? Like, I always thought about that as a former law enforcement officer. If something went sideways in my life and I wound up in prison, would I be a target?
No, because, it's
Or do
hard
they have
to-
any special protection or something?
Yeah, I
like
was
that?
gonna say it's hard to say this without, because there's always, you always say the majority, right? Like the majority, and then there's some idiot who comes in and says, no, well, I know this one guy. It's like, yeah, that's one guy, jackass. You know what I'm saying? Like, the overall, the prison is trying to not have people killed. There may be, instances where things have, didn't work out that way because of prison guards, but the system in general is not going to take a correctional officer and place him in to the pen in general population. They're going to say, no. And plus, if it's not violent, they're going to give him the benefit of that. They're going to be like, look, let's send this guy to a low. someplace that he could be protected. I mean, not that there's not danger there, but I don't really see that you get like at Coleman. It wasn't that big of a deal. Even if other inmates didn't like you, as long as you're not an asshole, you're probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
Greg Jr. was there. He was a guy who in Atlanta they served a kind of like a fake no-knock warrant, and they kicked in the door of a retired school teacher in a in a shitty neighborhood, and so they kicked in the door. She wakes up in the dead of night and basically thinks she's being broken into.
Yeah.
And she pulls a gun out. And when they come through the door, she fires and she shoots Junior right in the right through the vest, right? Gets the upper vest, and they shoot and kill her. And it was because they thought they were going into a drug house.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because they grabbed a guy, and they took drugs off him, and they said, "Tell us where you got the drugs, and we'll let you go." So he said, "Okay," and he gave him the address.
He just misdirected them, or
he just gave him a fake fucking address,
Jesus.
and they went to a judge and told the judge that they told the judge, we have a certified informant. An informant's always giving them good information. And so the judge signed off on a no-knock warrant. They go to the house. They kick in the door. This old grandmother,
thinks she has a home invasion happening.
Thinks she's having a home invasion. Turns around. As soon as they come through the door, she fires at him, hits Junior, and boom, Junior executes her.
Wow.
How much time did Junior get?
What's his crime?
He murdered. First of all, it's just, the whole unit is.
I mean, let's establish that the whole thing is a nightmare. But well, I'm trying to think of what he was given bad information.
Right. They grabbed a drug. So they pull over a car. They search the car. They find drugs. They steal the drugs to resell. It's a complete.
I missed that part. Sorry.
Right. So this guy that gave him the information. That guy, they don't even know that guy.
Right. It was the cop was also he was robbing these.
They were robbing
dope dealers,
and
the whole thing was going to be a ripoff. He was not looking to make a case.
Right. And then
that guy gets 15 years.
The
cop
Junior. Junior got. I want to say, and I probably.
How you spell his name?
It's Junior.
Okay, Junior. Last name.
Yeah. No. His first name is Greg. His last name is Junior, and you said Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to say in the state he got for the murder, he got 5 or 6 years. But they ran it.
The civil rights violation?
Civil rights violation got him 4 or 5 years, and he went to, or maybe 7 years or something like that. And so he's got to serve his state time in federal prison, which he's not stupid.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, when it all started falling apart, he was the first one to go to the fucking FBI.
Yeah.
First one out of the gate, hey, boom, I'll make a deal. I'll give you all these guys. He gives up his whole unit.
He had a lawyer giving him very good advice.
Kept all of his money that he'd been stealing for 10 years.
You hate to hear that.
And the whole time he was locked up with me, complained about how he got too much time. And I mean, I literally remember sitting there with him at the front desk when you walk in the unit, because he was our head orderly at the time. And I went, he was complaining because he got, let's say he got 7 or 8 years. He was going to, I want to say he was only doing 5 total, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, well, I should be getting out now. He said, if the fucking judge had gone with what the recommendation was, but he gave me the top end of the guidelines. And I was like, bro, I mean, I said, what do you expect?
Yeah.
And he said, I said, I mean, let's be honest, bro. You killed a woman. She shot me. I go, you broke into her house. And he was like, you don't understand. Pretty sure I do.
It's amazing how people can rationalize their behavior.
A retired school teacher. Fucking, yeah.
92-year-old lady in Atlanta.
92. I was about to say she was probably 75 or something.
She got off a shot.
Yeah.
And,
she's a gangster.
He was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison.
6 years in federal prison.
On top of his state crime? Or
his state. So whatever the state was, the state was over long before, or before his, before his federal was up. So he was smart. He knew he wanted to do his time. And listen, not a lot of people talk to Greg.
I can imagine.
Not a lot of inmates talk to Greg. A dirty cop who's setting up drug dealers, stealing everything they have, and then breaking in other drug dealers' houses.
I'm just surprised he didn't have to live with his head on a swivel.
Yeah, this is straight training day.
Yeah.
Straight training day.
That's amazing. Well, let's talk about Jason Rodriguez. He was an NYPD officer who allegedly, the story he told people, quit the force because he was making so much money trading foreign currencies, Forex.
I don't know if anybody makes money on Forex.
Well, he wanted to share his strategy with other people, right? And he's an ex-cop, and so everyone's like, well, he's got to be legit. So he forms a company called Technical Trading Team, TTT, and begins taking money from other people, telling them that he was totally safe because he had put guardrails in on his trades to prevent any kind of trading loss. And there would be only upside to the business. He was telling them that he can make 18% to 24% per year trading Forex. Who are you going to trust? You're going to trust an ex-cop, right? Well, you know and I know, Matt. There's no such thing, right?
Yeah, he's already in major trouble. You can't promise.
But he takes in $4.8 million from investors and begins spending the money on himself.
I was going to say, what do you buy?
Luxury car, rental, leased them, expensive vacations, and just other personal expenses. Now, in his defense, he did try trading foreign currencies with some of his clients' money. And like most people who dip their toe into the Forex waters, he got his ass handed to him and lost a bunch of money. In which case he figured out, well, this trading thing is clearly not going to be a good idea for me. I need to preserve the capital, but I also need to keep my investors happy. So he starts paying the investors out using their own money and the money from new investors in what we call
a Ponzi scheme.
Right on. You've learned a thing or two. So the net loss to the investors when he ran out of money was $2.3 million.
Okay,
got that? So eventually this house of cards collapses. It always does. He stops paying people. They call the FBI. FBI investigation reveals that not only was his investment program a big fat scam, but the reason that he left the NYPD after 7 years of service was not because he was a wildly successful trader. You might be surprised to hear, Matt Cox. But it was because he got caught committing some misdemeanor crimes, and there was a big internal investigation on him for these disciplinary infractions and stuff. And so he resigns from the force in disgrace and then begins launching this Forex Ponzi scheme.
Okay.
He gets indicted on fraud charges, pleads guilty. How much time are you going to give Jason, the ex-cop? Let's assume that there's no real criminal history other than those misdemeanors that were causing him problems. Again, the amount of money he took from investors was $4.8 million. The net loss to those investors was $2.3 million.
Right. Because he had been paying them back with their own money.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So the net loss, I'm going to say 60 months. Do you know, maybe 48? 48 months? What do you think? 48 months?
What are we asking? This is one player per hand at the poker table.
What do they call a Ponzi scheme before the Ponzi?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Before?
Peter Paul?
Yeah, Peter Paul scam.
Yeah, Peter Paul scam.
Yeah,
robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Okay, so let's go through the factors again. So we have a loss of $2.3 million. I don't know how many investors there were, but let's say it's a lot. Let's say it's in the 20, 30, 40 range.
Well, I shouldn't believe him.
Well, no, I mean, it's not one rich guy. And but we also have the factor in aggravation that this guy's a former law enforcement officer.
So you think a position of trust?
I think that's kind of the ultimate position of trust, and he's clearly trading on that, right? Like, listen, I'm a former NYPD cop. I left the force because I, was making so much money trading Forex. And I want to share that with you. Look
at my new leased car.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm living like a baller, and you can too. I'm going to guarantee you 18% to 24%.
I think you're trying to hit.
And I'm just recapping for the audience. It's not for you, Matt Cox. It's for the audience. I'm here in service to them. I'm with them. And so I guess I'm asking you how much time he was sentenced, given all of those aggravating and mitigating factors, because he pled guilty.
60 months.
60?
60. That's 5 years.
60.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you sticking to that?
Yeah, I am. Boy, if it's 48 months, I'm quitting.
You seem real irritated.
I'm leaving if it's 48 months.
Okay, well, it's not 48 months.
Oh, my God.
The correct answer is 36 months.
Oh, okay.
3 years in prison.
I still would have missed it at 48.
You did.
This is such a, the first couple I did pretty well.
Yeah, well,
First couple of episodes.
Yeah, we did.
That was 10 episodes
We kept
ago.
score, and like the last 3 or 4 or 5 episodes, it was
I've been decimated.
yeah.
Okay, Colby, I'd like you to put your interns on. I want an individual story score, not an episode by episode score. Like we've done, what, a dozen times, 10 of these or whatever, 8 of these, like we're at like 120 stories. I want to know what Matt's score is on that thing. Put your interns on it.
Yeah. So like,
Get the interns.
The ones massaging my feet under the table.
Yeah, have you put all these into a playlist?
a playlist.
Why haven't you? What are you doing? People love these. Some people would binge watch the entire thing.
Or some people would say, create a playlist, the same thing as its own channel, like the Tom and Matt. Matt and Tom
kind of.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
That's the whole thing. Because I'm saying
people in the comments have been asking for that.
right. I don't know about that, but I mean, I know that people have been saying like they'll watch an episode and they'll be like, "Whoa, this is the 3rd episode. I love these." It's like you've watched 3 episodes. There's 12.
Yeah.
Like they don't really know that there's 12.
Well,
They'd have to
YouTube,
scroll
YouTube's
down.
just bad, right? Because you got to scroll,
Right.
you got to go back in time and scroll it, or
if
it's
they're-
not user friendly.
If they're watching now and they go to the homepage, there will be a Tom Simon playlist.
Yeah.
No,
Because think about it. You got these guys that like it. If they like one episode, they just binge watch all of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at this point, it's be 36 hours of content, damn near. So, more money for you. Ever serve any time with any crooked politicians?
Yes.
Who
No,
just-
I'm just joking. I don't know.
No?
Let me think about this. Hold on. See, if I could, I wish. See, it's horrible. If I could ask 1 or 2 guys, they'd be like, "Fuck yeah, remember so and so."
Yeah.
I can't remember. Law enforcement, yes, and judges. Served time with a couple of judges,
Yeah.
but
They're elected.
Yeah.
In stateside, yeah.
yeah. I
Just
don't-
curious. I was on a political corruption squad for several years, and I always just sort of wondered what it was like for
I
those
did
guys.
bribe. I did bribe a council member who ultimately became a county commissioner, and he eventually was caught up in a bribery charge and then fought it and went to prison.
Did you testify?
I've tried. Boy, I tried. No, the FBI actually came to talk to me about it, but by the time, and we had, we talked a few times, and then like a year later, he got indicted. The problem was it's only like the statute of limitations is only like 3 years or 4 years or something on. So by the time, so they weren't able to charge him for my bribery, and so no, I wasn't directly involved in the new case. And then I guess I was kind of hoping like they'd call
You'd be
me
like a 404B witness,
Right,
For
but-
other bad acts. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Interesting. Well, Alabama State Representative John Rogers has been serving the people of Birmingham, Alabama, as an elected official for 40 years.
Nice.
Imagine being in office for 40 years. He was also corrupt as hell. Okay, so here's the story. As part of his job in the state legislature, he had access to a fund for community development. And he was given $400,000 into that fund in discretionary money to fund a local youth baseball league for low-income kids in Birmingham, right? Can you think of anything better, right? These kids in Birmingham, poor as heck, and now that he has $400,000 to form a baseball league for them. We're talking bats, we're talking mitts, we're talking umpires, we're talking assistant coaches, uniforms, and all that.
Right.
But Big John wanted a taste for himself, Matt Cox. It wasn't good enough to give so he forced the league's executive director to give him a $200,000 kickback.
Sheesh.
Half the money. These kids can play with half that money, $200,000. I want $200,000 for myself, or your league gets nothing. That's what he said. Nothing.
I think they still do get everything if this guy played his cards right, because what's that money going for? It's just sitting in an account? Like, you got to give us the money, right? Didn't work like that.
It sounds like he's in charge of doling this out. I mean, he's
upsetting.
John Rogers. So the FBI catches wind of this and launches an investigation. And then what John does, he starts trying to obstruct justice by offering a witness a bribe to tell another witness to give, and whether he gives one witness a bribe and tells them to lie to the FBI. And and that fails. His cover-up fails. He gets federally charged with whatever bribery, embezzlement, whatever it was. And but he was really cocky. So standing on the courthouse steps, I'm going to do this in John's voice. He said, "I am so innocent, I ain't even worried, and I look forward to a court date. I wouldn't do anything that stupid. This is going to be a royal affair. I will enjoy kicking their asses." That's what John said on the courthouse steps after his arraignment. Can you imagine?
Did he go to trial?
Oh, a little cocky. 6 months of this bluster and bullshit, he finally pleads guilty. 6 months of it to fraud and obstruction of justice. As part of his plea agreement, he agrees to resign from the Alabama House of Representatives. So good riddance to bad rubbish there. Thing is, he's 83 years old. And that's what happened. So my question is, how much time is John Rogers going to get for shaking him down and stealing $200,000 from the baseball kids, Matt Cox?
I don't even know if he'd do any time, really, but I feel like he's in an elected position of trust.
It is, but he's also provided service to the community for 40 years.
He was paid for that. You're fine. I'm not taking that into consideration.
Think of the children, Matt Cox. They just want to be shortstops.
I think another judge. I think a judge would be pissed about it.
Oh.
Another judge would be. I would think another judge would be like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?" You know what I'm saying a judge. I understand he's a politician, but I would think that another elected official like a judge would be like,
Yeah, the problem is it's federal, right? So there's those judges are not elected.
"Oh yeah, they're appointed."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Either way,
Yeah.
I'd be irritated.
How much time is John Rogers going to get in prison for his misdeeds?
I think he'd get probation, but I'm going to say 3 months.
3 months in prison.
He's an old man. He could die in prison. It'd be a life sentence.
Could be a life sentence, right? Age
3 months.
83.
And he's been humiliated. And let's face it, like admittedly, there's kind of a victim, but it's not like there's, like it's like the victim's like the taxpayer, like, and we all know the politicians could care less about the taxpayer. Maybe 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's an old man. He's been embarrassed. He's been humiliated. He's going to be on probation.
Fall from grace. It was a fall from grace.
Yeah, he's no good. 3 months.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
You seem pretty comfortable with that one.
I think he should get 3 months.
All right. Well, you got 13 months.
Motherfucker.
I'm giving you that one.
How dare you give that to him? Under what rule are you going to give him 3?
There's just not much variance.
He's an old man.
Between 13 months, a year, 1 year and 1 month,
That's
and then
within
90 days that
that's within-
Judge Weakling here is going to give him?
That's within a year. Within a year, variance.
Well, it's-
20% or within a year. That's the rules.
It's 20% of the months and 20% of the years is the same thing. 20% of 1 point whatever. There's no way he got that. I'm not trying to. I'd be thrilled if he got it. I'm on Team Matt. But
you really think he deserves 13 months?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. This person is a piece of shit.
Yeah, I know he's. I understand, but I mean, he could
look
die
at
in
the
prison.
action. Again, this money was for underprivileged kids. We can laugh about that, but that's a thing.
Yeah,
that
but
keeps young people out of prison and stuff like that. These youth programs.
I understand they got half. I'm not saying he's not a piece of shit, but I'm saying you kind of got to look at like he's super old.
You're also not thinking about the obstruction of justice. He's out there trying to get a witness to lie, and he pled guilty to fraud and obstruction of justice. I said.
I mean, I think he should do time in jail. I thought he was going to get probation.
I know you did.
But because let's face, because of the dollar amount.
Right, the dollar amount's not astronomical.
Yeah, it's not outrageous.
But again, I think the dollar amount understates the societal harm that he's doing by defunding this youth baseball program.
Do you know what bothers me the worst is that he was, because of his, asking for half the money for a kickback?
Yeah.
Like, how are you expecting to, how do you say this is worth 400, this was 400,000, or this is 400,000 when it's only 2? Like, does that make sense? like you're
Explain.
like you're definitely going to get caught. Your
Oh,
greed.
yeah.
Like if you said, "Hey, give me 50,"
Yeah.
then you can say 350,000 is 400. You can spend 350,000 and say, "Yeah, we spent 400," and people are going to be like, "Yeah, that's probably about right."
Yeah.
But we spent 200,000, and you're saying, "No, we spent 400." They're going to be like, "I don't know, you got ripped off, bro. Like this isn't 400,000 worth of money."
No, I agree. This thing was destined to fail.
Yeah,
And listen, you think this is his first time doing something like this?
No, I was just thinking that. How long has he been doing this? How bold are you to say I want half the money for the kickback?
Yeah, I agree. All right, so you giving him a point for that, Colby?
1 for 7
How do you? Again,
within a year. That's within a
it's
year.
not within a year. It's within 20%.
Yeah, but if it's at like 1 year, it's hard to.
No, you're thinking.
He'd have to hit it on the head.
No,
almost.
he could get the number of months right. The variance between, if you call it 5 years and 60 months, 20% of that is the same amount of time.
I am shocked I'm getting any of these right. I haven't got anything right.
Yeah. Tomorrow,
Come
we might
at
have
Colby
to
in
go-
the comments, people.
Tomorrow we might have to go up to 25%. Depending on the result of the last one, it might have to go up or down.
This is not easy.
You're thinking in terms of years. These things are in months. 20% is the same thing. 20% is 20%. It doesn't matter if we did it in days. It's still 20% is the same amount of
How
time.
upset he is.
I'm not upset.
Well, he was wanting the shutout.
No. I'm always rooting for you, but I want you to win under legitimate terms, not because you're a highly paid employee.
You don't know me very well.
Because your employee has his thumb on the scale.
Looking for a win, period.
All right. Well, let's stick with the crooked politicians, and this one involves a church.
Okay. You know what's so funny is that I was telling Jess when I was trying to pick mine, I was like, the problem is, I said almost always Tom is picking like embezzlement. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was like, they're always embezzlement. I was like, I don't really have any embezzlement, So I was like talking to Jess about it.
Yeah.
I was like, so I'm just going to go with people that I know. So instead of sticking with embezzlement, I said I'm going to stick with people that I actually have met and know the case. And so that's where I came up with my cases. And then we get here, man, you got guards, you got.
Well, I try to mix it up for the audience. I mean,
right.
At some point they're going to fall asleep if we do the same type of case again and again and again. So I always try to do a potpourri.
If you sleep hot at night, you know how disruptive that can be. When you're not resting well, everything else feels harder. Your focus, your mood, even your recovery. GhostBed is here to help you fix that. They've spent decades perfecting how to build a bed that's comfortable, durable, and designed to actually help you rest. Every GhostBed mattress features premier materials, proven cooling technology, and their exclusive ProCore layer, a targeted support system that reinforces the center of the mattress where the body is heaviest. It helps keep your spine aligned and your back supported, so you can wake up ready for anything 2026 throws at you. Each mattress comes with a 101 night sleep trial and a 20 to 25 year warranty, so you can try it risk-free, knowing it's built to last. Shipping is fast and free. Most orders arrive in 2 to 5 days. GhostBed has great prices to begin with, up to 50% off comparable brands. And Inside True Crime listeners can get an extra 10% off site-wide for a limited time. Just go to ghostbed.com/Cox and use promo code Cox at checkout. That's ghostbed.com/Cox, promo code Cox. Upgrade your sleep with GhostBed, the makers of the coolest bed in the world. Some exclusions apply. See site for details.
So the Mount Calvary Baptist Church in Philadelphia, they employed 68-year-old Willie Jones to be a deacon in the church. And the pastor put him in charge of taking up the collection at church. You've been to church, they take up the collection from the good people. And Willie's also in charge of making the deposits and paying the bills for the church.
You got one man in charge of too much stuff.
Willie's trustworthy. He was not only a deacon in the church, but he was also a popularly elected Democratic ward leader in Philadelphia's 44th ward. And he also had a salaried job as the director of operations for State Senator Vincent Hughes. Right, so this guy has one foot firmly planted in local, kind of grassroots politics, and 1 foot firmly planted in his local grassroots church. What neither organization knew is that he was stealing from both of them. At the church, Willie was issuing checks to himself and then recording them in the church's accounting records as reimbursements for non-existent expenses. Okay. The pastor was not keeping an eye on the books. He trusted Willie. And Willie stole $57,000 from the church in 82 fraudulent instances. Okay. So we'll go through the numbers again later when you're coming up with a sentence.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in his political job, Willie begins using the debit card of the ward office to pay his personal credit card bills and fund a family member's funeral. Okay?
Okay.
And he does
He
that.
hadn't stole enough of the money himself to fund it himself?
No, he did this without the permission of the Philadelphia Democratic Party. And he was able to keep the scam alive for 4 years, stealing $86,000 from the local Democratic Party office.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know, and I tried to figure it out and find out which embezzlement case was caught first. But my impression is that the church probably discovered the fraud loss first, and then the FBI begins looking into his bank account, and then the FBI uncovers the political theft. Doesn't really matter for guidelines purposes, but I had several cases like that where one victim contacts me, I begin looking at the subject's bank account, I'm like, oh, this guy's in up to way more than I thought.
Right.
I think that's what happened here.
Why would the FBI be involved in a church embezzlement, though? I would think they would get involved in a politics first. Like politics falls under the FBI, doesn't it?
Any kind, any sort of fraud involving mails or the mail or wires could in theory be the FBI.
Very low dollar amount.
It is, and the sad fact is that local police, especially in a city like Philadelphia, are often not fully equipped to handle financial crimes.
Okay.
And maybe the fact that this guy was a politician of sorts in Philadelphia also just sort of triggered the idea of the FBI coming in because having local authorities to it may be perceived as a conflict of interest. I think there's a lot of reasons why you could justify this as a federal crime.
Okay.
And I've certainly investigated smaller, dumber crimes myself. In any case, Willie rolls over on both cases, pleads guilty to the 2 schemes in one omnibus charge. The cumulative loss is $143,000. And that's pretty much how it went down. Pleads guilty. How much? He's 68 years old. Because I know
3 months.
3 months is what you're saying.
Yeah. If he gets any time at all. 3 months. 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Are we
I don't even think he should get 3 months.
Are we relying on the Colby rule here, where if you say 3 months, he gives it to you regardless of what the sentence is?
I think if I'm within listen, this is
within a year. I'm just gonna give it.
Oh my God, we are really moving the goalposts here.
3. I mean, the dollar amount is so low. And I get a position of trust.
Due to the Colby rule, why don't you say 364 days? That way you have a much broader range for him to give you a freebie.
6 months. 3 months. 3 months.
I'd like you to say it from the heart, not because you're being tactical.
3 months.
3 months is your guess?
Yes.
Is that final answer?
Yes.
All right. The correct answer is 12 months. And as we know, when you guess 3 and the answer is 12, that's within 20%, and so you get the point, I guess, huh?
Within a year.
My God.
2 for 8. Don't you think it's harder, like a year sentence, it's harder to get within that 20
No,
20
Colby,
year
because a month is a number. There's a number of months, and within 20% of that is a number. And with just like it is, wait, if we said 120 months, it's still you can still compute what 20% of that is.
Yeah, but I feel like it's easier to hit like a 20-year sentence.
Dude, it's your show.
shocked.
It's your
To
show.
get-
I
to
don't
get-
care. I have no dog in this fight. I know what the comments are going to look like.
I
And it also is 2 of 8. It also is 2 of 8.
I get no joy out of Matt losing,
I don't believe that.
right? I get no joy out of this. I would love to see you get 12 out of 12. I want this thing to succeed. I want you to succeed, buddy. What do you know about diplomatic immunity?
A lot.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me about your thoughts on diplomatic immunity. Does it make sense?
Yeah, sure. I think so. So any dwellings that the diplomats are occupying are basically like it's in their own country. Same thing with the embassies. Same thing with their vehicles. right?
It's more than that. If I go out and commit a murder, if I'm a diplomat and I go out and I'm assigned to Thailand, I work for the State Department there. I live in an apartment in Thailand, and I commit a murder. I murder some ladyboy in Thailand.
In your own dwelling, or just I go
On
to
the streets.
I go
on
to
the
her
streets.
house.
I cannot be prosecuted in that foreign country.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's too much.
It stretches pretty far.
Yeah.
Now the problem, and we'll get into the story here, is that I may face justice in my own country. For embarrassing the U.S. government and committing those crimes. There's laws on the books that maybe make that so.
Yeah.
So American diplomats working in foreign countries, they enjoy diplomatic immunity from any kind of foreign prosecution, and it goes both ways, right? And so we have 63-year-old Dean Cheeves. He was a U.S. State Department employee who worked at the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines. Okay. During his time in the Philippines, he developed a WhatsApp relationship with a local 15-year-old girl. No bueno.
No.
And he pays her to make him sexually explicit videos that she would send to him on WhatsApp for his own enjoyment. Okay, so he's paying a 15-year-old girl.
I don't get it. I've never understood that. The pictures and the videos and okay.
During that same window of time.
And he's in the Philippines and she's in the Philippines?
Yeah.
Well, then why do I need the thing? You're in the Philippines. I'll just come over. Right?
Well, okay. With her, he has a sexting relationship, and she's making videos and sending them to him. He has a second person, though. A 16-year-old Filipina girl, he was actually in a physical sexual relationship with. And he was filming his sex acts with her.
Okay.
The problem is both of these things were happening on his U.S. government cell phone.
Okay.
Maybe you see where this is going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm assuming he's in trouble no matter what. He's just getting to make it work, making it easier for him.
So there's an agency that I really enjoyed working cases with, the U.S. State Department Diplomatic Security Service.
Okay.
They handle investigations internally of State Department people who do bad things. They handle security at the embassies, kind of coordinating the Marines who guard the embassies. And domestically in the U.S., they investigate passport fraud. They're a very good agency. And actually, I know 2 FBI agents who left the FBI to go with the State Department DSS because they had the travel bug and wanted to see the world. They also provide protective service to the Secretary of State. So, I guess Marco Rubio has a protective service from those guys. Anyway, Dean's love of sexual mementos kind of sealed his fate when the Diplomatic Security Service Office of Special Investigations seizes his phone and finds all the evidence in it of him having sex with a 16-year-old Filipina and the text messages and the payments and all that. So he gets charged, even though now the Filipinos can't charge him. He gets charged in the U.S.
Would they even care? For them,
I don't know what their age of majority is.
Yeah.
I know a lot of dudes who are really up on ages of majority in all 50 states and foreign countries. Not a preoccupation of mine. He gets charged in U.S. District Court in Alexandria, Virginia, for engaging in illicit sexual conduct in a foreign place. That's the charge, and pleads guilty. Okay. How much time are you going to give him?
He pled guilty. If he go into trial, he'd be in real trouble.
Yeah.
Because they charge you per photo, and the way it works is the videos, they'll break up the videos into every single, it's taking 60 photos per minute, and then you end up having 55,000 photos for that 4-minute video or something. Oh my God. So
I know he served in the Philippines for 4 years. I have no idea what window of time and how many instances were on the phone. But
if he pleads guilty, it could be
guilty.
40 videos. If you plead guilty, they'll drop it all down to probably one.
Yeah, I'm sure it was one count. But the judge gets to understand the totality of the conduct.
He is a toucher. So it's not just photos.
Yeah, he had a ongoing sexual relationship with a 16-year-old Filipina girl in the Philippines while working for the U.S. State Department with diplomatic immunity.
I knew a guy at Coleman, and I want to say he got 12 years. He got 12 years for something similar. He wasn't a State Department, but he was in the military. Let's say, let's say 12 years.
All right. Even though we have 2 victims?
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe 10 years. Let's say 12 years.
You sure about that?
I mean, 12 years.
Yeah, I guess you're super cocky now that we have the.
It changes nothing because the 12 years, yeah, 12 years. The 1 year mark is less than that. So
So it's 1 year or 20%.
Yes, that is the new rule.
The new rule.
I think you should. Okay, but, all right. We'll talk next. We'll talk
yeah.
after this is over. We're gonna
All right, this
renegotiate.
is like changing your pants mid shit. Yeah. All right, your guess is 12 years.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sure
congratulations. You won this one legitimately because the correct answer is 15 years. He got.
All right.
Is that right?
It is because
Yeah.
20% of is 3 years. Of 15 is 3 years.
Okay.
So you nailed it. Congratulations. You got 1 point. You a comic book guy, or I think we talked about this. The fact comic books. You need what's up?
Go get him.
Wow, that's the Joker.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and you did that.
Yeah, I did it. And I did.
How much of this is you painting, and how much of this is sort of a kind of collage that you created with art that pre-existed?
Okay, no. So this is I cut out.
Panels from comic books?
Yeah, panels from comic book, and I glue it down,
Mhm.
and then I cover it, seal them all up. Well, I mean they're all glued. I seal them up. You gotta like squeegee out the bubbles,
Mhm.
and then I got a screen, a silk screen.
Yeah.
And I silk screen Batman, and I paint it. I do an underpainting, then I silk screen it, so it looks like a comic book.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And then that's it.
Yeah, if I have not kissed your ass enough, I love your art. You're really, really talented.
Thank you. And so I was gonna kind of try and start mass producing those, just to have something, fun to do and sell.
You could like set up a booth at Comic-Con and sell that stuff.
I don't know. I have so many little I have so many ridiculous side projects that I start and then I don't finish. And that's one that, and actually we're having a guy who's a professional artist whose name is Art Williams, who's like one of the most famous
He's an
counterfeiters.
artist named Art?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he actually is in Chicago now and has his own art museum. No, art, what do they call it? Gallery. He has his own art gallery where he showcases his own art and other people's art. He's coming tomorrow. No. Monday. He's coming Monday. And I wanted to show him these because I took pictures of him and sent them to him. And and I told him I want to see him because I was like, what can I do with these? And because he saw those, he's, bro, I can sell those absolutely. Like I sell those for sure.
Wow.
So I want him to actually see them in person as opposed to a photograph. Like really be serious. Like if you're serious, I can start making these.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I like them.
You ever been to a comic book convention?
No,
No.
I'm no.
Yeah.
All you have to really do is go into the comic book stores and see the guys behind it arguing about the number 12 original
Trust
Batman.
me. I used to work at a comic book store in high school and college, and I was not like a comic guy. It was just a job, and I would also work the conventions for the store, and it's an interesting breed of people there.
Yeah.
So a fellow named Brian Brandenburg, he founded Salt Lake Comic-Con. The problem is that Comic-Con is a registered trademark for the real Comic-Con in San Diego. And so Brian had to pay $4 million for the trademark violation for his lack of ability to do a Google search for his Salt Lake Comic-Con.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works. But
well,
okay.
I mean, I'm assuming at some point I can't just open a store, a restaurant, and call it McDonald's and put up the golden arches.
No, I understand, but I'm saying,
So-
how do you hit them with that much of a fine? Is that just an automatic thing, or do they sue them? Or
I'm sure it was a lawsuit. So his comic convention rebranded as FanX.
nice?
And but Brian had to take a permanent leave of absence because he had
He's made some bad decisions.
he also was sexually harassing some of his employees,
Oh, okay.
allegedly. So he relocates to Hawaii. I'm done with Utah. Utah was not very, very good to him, and he was also getting a divorce in Utah, and so he just wanted to get away from the whole thing. And so the Utah courts were taking a while to rule on his divorce. Sometimes these things crawl through the system rather slowly. And so Brian sent an email to the clerk of courts in Utah and wherever he lived, I imagine Salt Lake City. And the email said, "So go fuck yourself, all of you. I guess I'll just have to bomb the city."
So it sounds like he's taking a page from what's his name's playbook, the first guy we talked about.
So he follows it up with more emails to court employees saying he was going to bomb the courthouse, the University of Utah, the mayor's office, the Sacred Mormon Temple, and every Ivy League school, as well as the federal courthouse in San Diego, where he previously had his ass handed to him in the lawsuit involving San Diego Comic-Con. So my former colleagues in the FBI in Honolulu, they pay Brian a visit, and they read him the emails. And Brian confesses, saying, yeah, I sent the emails to pressure the court in Salt Lake City and get their attention.
Well, you did.
Mission accomplished, right? So the FBI places him under arrest, and instead of taking a plea deal, after confessing to the FBI, the dum-dum goes to trial.
Mm-hmm.
And the jury finds him guilty on 7 counts of sending email bomb threats. Okay. He was actually being held in jail, during the course of the trial and all that, and awaited sentencing in jail. Then they finally brought him out in the orange jumpsuit, and he was sentenced. How much time are you going to give Brian Brandenburg?
$48 months.
He went to trial.
He did. He did.
And he did this again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah, he's a moron. Yeah, I don't doubt that.
He was a CEO.
But it's like, I don't know. The problem is I would be taking it into consideration. I would take into consideration the fact is that this guy was not going to do any of these things.
Well, a hothead.
Yeah, he's just a jerk off.
Mm-hmm.
But he did go to trial, and they hate that. So that's why I'm saying. I was saying most likely they would have had him plead. Maybe he got 12 months at best, but going to trial, okay, let's say 48 months. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit more than that, but I'll say 48 months since I don't believe you, and
I'm just asking.
You're concerned about my answer one way or the other.
Oh, you got a real burr in your saddle today. Your answer is 48 months?
48 months.
All right, well, I tried to help. Correct answer, 70 months. See?
He wasn't trying to help.
Sure, I said he did it again and again and again and again and again. You a cruise guy? You like going on a cruise? Like a Carnival cruise, Royal Caribbean cruise?
The only cruise I've ever been on is a European cruise. Was it Norwegian? I don't know. European cruise.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think they probably have like true crime cruises.
They do. They absolutely do.
We got to get booked on one of these.
I know that we should.
CrimeCon has a cruise.
Seriously.
CrimeCon, they do have a cruise. Listen, here's what bothers me about CrimeCon. CrimeCon.
Yeah.
I actually sent them an email one time. Like I filled out the form to be one of the speakers.
I did too.
Yeah. I never heard from them.
I never heard from him either. Yeah, I've done it twice. And
I don't know who's running this thing.
Yeah, and who's bigger than you and I?
No one.
But we were talking about doing a live show at some point. The idea of getting booked on the CrimeCon cruise, us 3 go, we bring our ladies, and we get a free vacation out of it, and we make the magic happen.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think if we probably get free tickets if we just said, hey, here's what our social media presence is.
Yeah.
Here's the true crime thing. They might say, hey, we just want these guys on there for the fans because
Yeah.
they'll recognize them.
Oh my God, it'd be amazing for them to see us. Yeah,
We don't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
I'll give a little speech, or
Yeah.
we could do this, or
Right.
whatever.
It'd be like going on a cruise with like the like Belle Biv DeVoe or some of the hip hop stars of the 1980s, and or just some they have music like Train. That band
Right.
has a cruise and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so will you get one of the interns on that, Colby?
I will, and I will make a clip out of this. So there's a potential that it just gets shared around, and who knows?
All right,
That
cool.
should definitely happen.
All right.
Do you love true crime? Then it's time to experience it on a whole new level. Inside True Crime has launched a brand new documentary channel, Dark Docs, and we're taking our best interviews and transforming them into powerful 1-hour documentaries with cinematic reenactments.
And he just looks me dead in my face and he says, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Immersive music,
They pulled up beside us.
and cleaner storytelling. You'll see these cases like never before. Subscribe now to our brand new documentary channel where every story takes you deeper into the criminal underworld that we know you crave.
If we were to go on this cruise, would you hit the dance floor?
No,
Really? You're not a dancer?
I'm not a dancer. You don't want to see me dance. It's like watching me jog. Like I'm not built for jogging. I jog like a tank.
How about you, Colby? You gonna hit the dance floor at the cruise?
I would. Yeah, the last cruise I went on,
Really?
I won Mr. Chicken Legs for doing
Nice.
the dance. They do like little dance
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
right
yeah.
when everybody's getting on. So
Okay, so here's a question: if you were to go into the dance floor at like the nightclub there, would you wear shoes or dance barefoot?
Oh, me? I wouldn't be at the nightclub. I'd be at the casino. But I would definitely wear shoes.
You would dance at the
I dance at the pool deck, where everybody's out.
Okay.
But,
And so you may not be wearing shoes dancing on the pool deck.
pool deck, no shoes.
know,
Nightclub, shoes.
You know what's great is that Jess
Yeah.
doesn't dance.
Oh,
No, I feel like. Did you ever see
that's a
Seinfeld?
catch because most ladies are like, "Come on, dance
Yeah.
with me. We're at the wedding. Dance with me."
Did you ever see the Seinfeld where Elaine dances? It's hilarious. I mean, she's the worst. I don't even know how they came up with her dancing, and I picture Jess dancing like Elaine. It's painful to watch. I mean, she's all like, it's great.
We got to make this happen. We got to get all 6 of us on a cruise.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So Kenneth DiGiorgio, he was the CEO of a mortgage company called First American Financial, a $6 billion title insurance and settlement firm. Okay. Big company. He's the CEO. He takes his wife, Nicole, on a cruise on Virgin Voyages ship called the Resilient Lady. Wouldn't it be nice to be on the Resilient Lady with your lady? So it was after midnight.
So corny. Go ahead.
It was after midnight in one of these cruise ships dance floor cocktail lounges things. And Ken and Nicole are there having a drink. They're having the best time. It's like a second honeymoon for them. I mean, And there's a bar guy there in the bar. We'll call him Mike. And Mike is dancing and drinking and having fun. Just one of those guys who's just like uninhibited in the bar. But the thing is, Mike was dancing with no shoes on his feet. Huh? All right. Unlike Colby, who would insist on wearing shoes at the dance club. But something about this barefoot dancing really repulsed Nicole. She's not into it. And it's seething inside her. She's watching him. He's dancing. He's having fun.
But this isn't her husband.
No. It's just this dude, Mike. A dude that she's with her husband. They're like having cocktails together in the the cocktail lounge.
Right?
But she keeps looking over and she sees the son of a bitch Mike dancing with no shoes on, and it's making her crazy.
Who does he think he is?
Who does he think he is? So Nicole walks up to him and says, "Look, we're all grown-ups here. Will you put some shoes on?"
Oh, Karen.
Mike was having none of it. He says, "Shut up, you effing bitch." But he used the F word, the real F word, right? And then he holds up his middle finger to Nicole. Okay. CEO Ken is there, and he sees his bride, his soulmate, getting disrespected by Mike the barefoot dancer. And CEO Ken snaps into a rage. "I'm going to effing kill you," he screams, lunging at Mike and grabbing his throat like Thanos.
I feel like there's some alcohol involved in this whole thing.
Mike later tells investigators that CEO Ken was strong and that Mike thought he was going to have his throat ripped out. The bartender snaps into action, breaking the two men up and calling ship security, who reviews the surveillance film of the assault. Ken was sent back to his room until the boat docked. "Go to your room, Ken," CEO. And boat docks in Puerto Rico, and he's met there at the disembarkment by the FBI agents in Puerto Rico. Because crimes on the high seas, Matt Cox, are automatically FBI jurisdiction. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Ken is charged with assault on the high seas. And so I'd like to hear from you how much time he got.
12 months probation.
12 months probation, no prison time whatsoever.
No.
He could have ripped this guy's throat out, Matt
No.
Cox. You're not buying it?
No.
Not buying it at all.
No.
All right. I'm not going to torture you. You get the point. The case was dismissed at the request of the government. But what happened is he got fired from his job as CEO of the $6 billion company for embarrassing the company. But before you cry for him, he got a $18 million severance package when they fired him. So this barefoot dancer could have been the best thing that happened to him financially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justice?
Are crimes upon the cruise ship or in the high seas like the ones on the air?
Yes.
Where it's just like,
Yeah. There's just no one else. So I did a murder on a cruise ship once.
Right.
I investigated a murder on a cruise ship. Let me make that clear. They never found the girl. Yeah, but yeah, same thing. So anyway, you get a point for that. No prison time for CEO Ken DeGiorgio. Get an $18 million payday. What do you know about insider trading?
I mean, I watched The Wolf of Wall Street.
That wasn't insider trading.
That wasn't?
No, that was
Money laundering.
It was a pump and dump.
Oh.
Yeah. Insider trading is when I work at a company, I get information about something that's not public.
No, I know what insider trading
I'm just
is.
making sure you understood
Right.
because...
okay, yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right, pumping. Yeah. No, because he was creating the companies and pumping them up and dumping.
No, they were real companies. They were just green sheet stock companies. Then he was creating, he was getting people, he was buying a bunch of shares of it, getting people to, then his sales staff were getting a bunch of people to buy these shares at an inflated price.
Yeah, they're
Then
driving the price
right,
up.
and then he dumps his shares and makes money before these worthless stocks collapse.
Well, the public has bought thinking it's going up, and then
exactly,
they get
because
stuck
he has
with,
these like high pressure salespeople.
Yeah.
Entirely different than insider trading. Insider trading is
I find out we're getting a government contract. This company's about to get a government contract to build 5 subs.
More often than not, it's earnings. Like I'm in the accounting department. I know that we are going to have a kick-ass quarter coming up, and that's going to make the stock price go up. But it hasn't been publicly released that we're going to have a kick-ass
Right.
quarter or earnings per share. And so I buy a bunch of shares and all that.
Or you're going to have a horrible quarter, and so you short all the stock.
Same thing. Insider trading is insider trading. So we have 40-year-old Dishant Gupta of Hillsborough, New Jersey. He had a big secret, Matt Cox. He had a big secret. He was the director of data strategies at a drug company called Ipsen Biopharmaceuticals. Now, the company's based in France and developed medicines that cancer patients can use to kind of alleviate their pain and suffering. But one day at work, Dishant finds out that his employer is going to be purchasing a smaller drug company in Massachusetts called Epizyme. Okay, we're going to be buying this company, but Dishant, don't tell anybody. This is hush hush. It hasn't been announced yet. Epizyme was a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ. And Dishant is sitting on some very juicy, non-public information, Matt Cox.
Okay.
Imagine how heavily that must be weighing on him to know this. So he knows that if he goes out and buys a bunch of Epizyme stock, he could get himself in some trouble. So Dishant got cute, got clever. Over an 11-week period, Dishant bought over 300,000 shares of Epizyme stock in his wife's brokerage account. He's thinking. 3 days after the acquisition was announced, the stock price goes up, and he dumps his shares in his wife's account, and he makes a cool $260,000 in profit.
Nice.
Yeah. Never been easier money than this, Matt Cox. What could go wrong?
That seems flawless to me.
Well, one thing he forgot is that the Securities and Exchange Commission has some pretty sophisticated software running about these type of trades where someone buys something, the stock price jumps up, and then it's sold right afterwards. And it didn't take them very long before the SEC started smelling a rat. Now, as you know, but maybe not everyone in your audience knows, the SEC has no criminal authority. They're very good investigators, but they're a regulatory agency. No one has ever gone to prison. No one from the SEC has ever put handcuffs on anyone. What they do is they call their buddies at the FBI to come in to investigate this jointly with them and make it criminal. Mm-hmm. It's a good deal for the FBI because you got the SEC and their expertise in this area, and it's a good deal for the SEC because the FBI put some teeth and muscles behind their investigation. And that's exactly what happened. The FBI investigation culminated in securities fraud charges against Dishant Gupta. He pleads guilty. And again, he made $260,000 profit off of this thing. But insider trading is a funny crime because the victim is sort of the system itself, right? There's not a one person who lost $260,000. It's just him cheating, him as an insider, cheating to make that money off the market itself. How much time are you going to give Dishant Gupta, no criminal history?
I'm 18 months.
18 months, a year and a half in prison for what some might argue is a victimless crime.
I don't even know why you're talking, man.
It's going to be a great show if we're going to not talk.
18 months.
18 months.
Yes.
All right. Well, you seem hell-bent on this.
18 months.
18 months. All right.
Yeah.
You're holding firm.
Yeah.
You don't want to tweak that up or down a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't know which way. You haven't.
I'm not giving you clues. I'm just saying that one could argue, and I'm positive his lawyer did, that this was a victimless crime.
Right. I understand.
Right.
But I don't. The fact that you're saying that, I don't believe that. I'm assuming it's going to end up being like 8 months or something. But yeah. But I've already said 18. I'm going to stick with.
Well, I mean,
8.
if you really think it's going to be 8, you can change it to 8.
Because if I change it to 8, you're going to be like, turns out it was 20 months. Who knew? I'm going to say 8. I'll say 8 months. You'll say 8 months.
8 months in prison.
8 months.
All right. And that Colby rule gives you some latitude there, right? Because if it was 20 months, you would still win. And if it's 0 months, then you would still win because of the new Colby rule, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So 8 months is what we're going with?
Yes, 8 months.
All right. Now, you were very positive when earlier, and then now we went down to 8. And so I just want to double check and make sure that you're comfortable with this. Because I don't want to hear any whining from you if it doesn't break your way.
I feel like signing a confession right now, and I haven't done anything. This is how you wore it down. They just wanted to get out of the room.
I'm so tired of my personality. All right. So you going with 8 months, or are you going with the original one? Well, I don't remember what your original one was.
12 months. I'm going with 12 months.
You're going with 12.
12 months.
All right. All right. The correct answer is 2 months in prison. He also had to pay a fine of $20,000, and he had to forfeit the $260,000 he made. So
Okay.
2 months in prison for Dishant Gupta, and I'm assuming he lost his job as well.
That seems reasonable. That's fine.
Yeah. That's all I got for you, Colby. You want to give him the enhanced score with the curve?
The score, as it stands right now, with the unofficial rules, is 5 of 12, and Matt has 2 stories.
I have 2 stories.
So now these same rules will be applied to Tom.
Let's see. Let's see here.
Let's see how good you do. See how easy it is.
It's not easy. I already know it's not easy. I wish you'd send. That's what I should have done was had you send me your little format. It's difficult.
Oh, hey.
It's not that easy.
Yeah, get it. It's not so easy to do a daily 2-minute crime story, is it? Yeah, maybe it takes a lot of talent.
Well, your format is. I was trying to kind of copy your format, but it doesn't come out of ChatGPT that way. I'll tell you that. You got to tweak it a little bit and move some shit around.
Got to tell you, yeah, exactly.
And then I don't have the whole,
You need Chat TOM. That's where the money is.
I don't have any of the cute little, You ever go to Bank of America? Yeah. Do you like money?
Do you like Do you like movies with gladiators? You ever seen a grown man naked?
I don't have any of those. So, because I thought about that later. I was like, he always does a kind of a,
I got my segues written in pencil on the top.
You know that funny feeling in your tummy when a dog rubs against your leg? I don't have any of those. I was like, fuck it, I got to go. Okay.
All right, tell me a story, Matt Cox.
I'm not going to be very good at this because I should have practiced it more. But let's go with,
Have you ever been to Mexico?
Yeah. Is that what I'm supposed to start? Tom Simon?
Yeah.
Do you like the Dominican Republic?
I do like the Dominican Republic. I've been there twice on vacation.
Really?
It's always funny to me, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, that the Dominican Republic is on an island called Hispaniola, which actually is the same island that has 2 nations on it. You know what the other nation is? It's Haiti and Dominican Republic share the same small island.
Oh, yeah.
And the Dominican
that fence means a lot.
Yeah, it's just crazy how there are 2 very different cultures on the same small island, and the Dominican Republic side has been able to monetize their nation as a tourist destination that's relatively safe and not a terrible place to be, and Haiti is not
hell on earth.
Yeah, well, you said it, not me. Now Haitians aren't going to hire me, but yeah,
right.
I get it. Okay, but yeah. So that's my experience with the DR.
James Catledge,
okay,
works for a company called Impact Net Worth.
Okay.
They specialize in financial education and investment products.
Okay.
Right. So people give them money, they invest it, or they give them they explain where to invest it. Whatever. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but the point is that he's got a large sales force, and he's been doing this for quite a while.
Okay.
Several years. He's doing well. He's at the top of the food chain of the company. He is now his customer base, because they do so many products for them and they're so kind of ingrained in their financial aspects of their life. One of the things that they do is they're looking for different types of investments for these people, and real estate is one of those investments that they've been approached for. So and he starts thinking that he should be investing in real estate. So at some point, he is approached by a father-son team, a development. It's a father-son developer.
Right.
Okay. Their name it's Fred and Derek Elliott.
And the Elliots are looking for money to develop houses. He has investors. They can match them up with each other.
Yes, the Elliots are actually halfway done with a hotel, condo, a building or development in the Dominican Republic.
Got it.
Yeah.
And they need more investments to finish the project.
Right. They need more investments. Exactly.
Got it.
So first they meet them. I want to say first they get together and they meet them and they pitch the whole thing. And Catledge feels very good about the whole thing. Then I'm pretty sure they fly them in to the Dominican Republic to stay at one of the hotels and see the development that's partially built and what they need and the whole. Everything's legit.
Looks
right.
good.
They
Looks
look
good.
over bank accounts. They do their due diligence. Everything's great.
Okay.
And what they come to him and they say, look, here's what we'll do is, you guys raise the money, we'll continue the development, and you get a portion of whatever you guys raise, and then your customers end up with I believe it's something like either a portion of the hotel profits, and I believe also there was something where they were buying condos. It was kind of like you get a condo, whatever.
Yeah.
So they raise a ton of money, This goes on. So the first development is completed within 6 months to a year. Everybody's happy. And by the way, I want to say, wasn't it Beyonce and Jay-Z?
Beyonce and Reggie Bush, I believe.
Right. We're there. Like they're celebrities that they're raising money from celebrities. Celebrities are coming in. It's very up and up. And what was the name of it? It was Maxim. Maxim magazine was involved, the whole thing. So he feels great about it. Raises the money, gives them the money. They build the development. It's complete. Everybody's thrilled. They come in with another development. Same thing happens. Build another development. Everything is great. Everybody's receiving the money. Everything looks legitimate. This goes on for 5 years.
Okay.
They are now in the middle of the third development.
Okay.
They're supposed to be halfway done. And it comes to Catledge's attention that the money doesn't appear to be going into development.
Interesting. It's being diverted somehow.
Right. They're saying, hey, you've raised, let's say at this point, whatever, there's 180 or $200 million, something like that, has been raised. And his sales guys, because they actually have salespeople like on the grounds, at the other development so they can bring them over to the new one. These guys are going by and they're saying, I don't see $100 million in this development.
Yeah.
Like something's wrong.
Right.
Keep in mind that all of the brochures, all of the marketing, everything is handed to him from the developers.
Right. He's just a middleman.
He's a middleman. He's saying, hey, this is what's going on. He's getting a piece. Everything's disclosed properly, whatever. But Catledge and his sales team are the ones that are talking to the investors.
Yeah, they have the FaceTime with the investors, who will ultimately be the victims in this, I'm sure.
Right. This goes on for 5 years. They build 2 hotels. They've never had a problem. Like I said, he realizes something's wrong. Catledge ends up hiring investigators to do a thorough audit of all the books.
Okay.
They do the audit of the books. They come back. They say funds are being diverted. The money's not going into the hotels. There's a major issue here. Catledge immediately gets his attorney, goes to the FBI.
Okay.
I want to say it is the FBI, right? Shit, I should have written that down. I'm pretty sure it was the FBI.
I mean, if it's
No?
FBI or postal. I mean, there's the only 2 people who would do this. It's not a tax issue.
I feel like it's the FBI.
I mean, it's not Secret Service, so it's got to be the FBI.
So he goes there. He pitches. He explains. They
Says,
sit
hey,
down.
this thing may fall apart, but I'm coming to you because I'm just the middleman here.
Right.
I was ripped off as well, but I was lied to by these Elliots.
Right.
I get it.
There's a an investigation by the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
They indict the Elliots,
Right.
and they indict a few. I want to say a few, maybe some of the salespeople. Maybe, I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but we're not really talking about them.
Sure.
But they end up indicting Kallage.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. The allegations are that he knew there was a problem and continued to collect money from people knowing there was a problem?
I guess they just I don't know, whatever the reason was, it ended up they ended up deciding that, listen, you were not following the. You're asking
Even
people to
though
raise
he's
money.
the genesis of the investigation. There was no investigation already from. Oh, wow,
I've
okay.
actually seen this happen a couple times.
I'm just surprised. Yeah.
So he ends up fighting the whole thing. So he immediately gets attorneys. He starts fighting.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I came to you. I didn't know. These are this is crippling to the company. It's crippling to my sales force.
Yeah.
I've been in and out with these, there's no emails, there's no nothing. Everything I'm getting from these guys, I'm handing over. And I believe that's kind of a part of the problem. Yeah, but you didn't really check to make sure any of this is good. You didn't do your due diligence. You didn't, whatever the reason was.
Right.
Always maintained his innocence. He fights for 5 years and he's going to go to trial.
Okay.
His attorneys end up convincing him to take a plea.
Really?
And I remember he told me the conversation they had where he was saying, I'm not going to plead guilty to this. I'm not going to sign something saying I'm guilty.
Yeah.
And
Never sign a plea agreement to something you did not do.
right. So they said, and I remember I believe the conversation was, you can do the next, so many years in prison, and the whole time you can tell everybody how you're innocent, or you can do this very little time in prison. You can do a whole bunch of time and tell everybody you're innocent.
I get it.
But you're going to prison. Like, I agree with you. I've seen it. I think you're innocent, but I also think that they're going to put, they're going to put 50 or 100 or 200 people on the stand that are going to say, you came to us, you told me to invest $500,000.
Yeah.
They're going to get some old ladies on there that are going to cry about how this is their pension, and it's gone, and now they have to live with their grandchildren's, whatever. You're done. So he's concerned. He ends up pleading guilty.
And provides a false elocution about the crime he committed at his.
They went on for about I think he said 3 to 6 months. They went back and forth on what the language of
negotiating the plea agreement.
negotiating, because the things they wanted him to say he had done or knew of, he didn't know. He's like, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, because he would have to swear under oath and
Right.
provide that verbal admit culpability. You don't just walk in and say, I'm guilty. You have to walk in and say, I'm guilty, and here's exactly what I did.
And I believe that what he had said was that at this point, I should have done this. At this point, I should, I this, I that. What is it? What is the term that they use? You knew or should have known.
Okay.
Right?
Right. Fair enough.
Okay.
Willful blindness.
Willful blindness, right? Like this should have keyed you off on this and that. So I think that's more or less what he kind of came up with.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Once
I
again,
get it. Right.
always maintained his innocence,
Right.
but didn't go to trial.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I'm using this as kind of an example, which you have countless examples
Yeah. Sure.
of the difference between going to trial
Right.
and not going to trial.
That's astronomical.
I actually just interviewed a guy. His nickname is Red Bull. His name's Andrew Levinson.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time he was saying he went to trial because he had was it $50 million loss or $30 million loss? Something like that. And he was saying, he basically had to go to trial because he was saying he's at the top end of the guideline.
Yeah. There's
He's
no
like,
discount or
right.
whatever. Yeah.
He's like, so I might as well go to trial. And I was trying to tell him, no. If you plea, a lot of times they'll drop a lot of the enhancements and you can negotiate the money and you don't get, he's like, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true. Okay,
Right.
whatever. I've met multiple guys that have $100 million and they got X amount of years and it's
a
like.
plea is a negotiated thing.
Correct.
Yeah. You should have some foundation in reality, but yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I want to give you so here's what it is. It's over 250 victims, I'm going to say.
Okay.
He pled guilty to 1 count of mail fraud,
Okay.
$180 million in loss,
Jesus.
and over 250 victims. He
Did he cooperate against the Elliots?
did not cooperate against the Elliots. I believe the Elliots had already, keep in mind this one, his plea negotiations.
Yeah.
Well, he dragged out trial for 5 years, and then it was another year or so.
Right.
When he pled, when he pled guilty, it was like 6 months, I think, of negotiation, something along those lines.
Yeah.
The Elliots had already pled guilty, and they both got very little time.
Okay.
How much time? Hold on. No, I don't. You know, that's not true. I don't know what they got.
Yeah. Whatever.
I want to tell you what the government, because he told me what the government was asking for, but anyway, 180 months, 180,000. Oh, motherfucker. $180 million and over 250 victims. I believe it's over 250 victims.
Yeah,
I
sure,
want to
sure.
say he might have said it was less, but I don't think so because it's the
Right.
dollar amount so high. I could be wrong on that.
Sure. Okay. So my analysis is basically that the guidelines are through the roof on this thing, right? I mean, if straight up on the guidelines, he's probably looking at 20 years. But
He no criminal history.
Right. But I'm assuming that the plea agreement, willful blindness is not. It's a crime, but if that's truly the way it was being structured in the plea agreement, the judge might be able to read between the lines. And I'm positive at the sentencing, his attorney went on and on and on about how this guy is not the mastermind behind this scheme. This guy was an unfortunate middleman.
Right.
Then you have the raw numbers there, just astronomical. So I'm going to come in at 13 years in prison as his sentence. I don't think that was justice, but I think that's what he actually got. Because the judge was probably trying to be kind because the judge could have given him all the 20 years. I think 13 is my guess.
Okay. Are you positive of that?
No, not at all.
No. But you're not going to
I'm
change
not going
it.
to change it because I don't have any better information that's going to make me change it.
So what's funny is he told me the whole time during his plea, like you go in, your lawyer goes on and on and on, and the judge kept saying over and over to him, "Are you sure you don't want to go to trial?" Judge has been there for all the motions for 5 years.
Right.
Like, are you sure? You understand you're saying this. You understand that? And he's like, "Your Honor, I cannot risk going to a trial." He's like, "I don't know. The government's asking for 28 years. That's what they want. That sentencing, that's what they're asking for."
Sure.
And like I said, the Elliots had already been found guilty and gone to prison,
So he's
and
not
were
willing to
willing to.
cooperate against
They're
it.
willing to cooperate. Like they're willing to testify.
Yeah.
They'll say anything.
Right. Yeah.
So what he got was 60 months,
5 years.
5 years,
Okay.
for $180 million loss. But and the judge was okay with it
I'm
because
glad to hear that, actually.
she'd heard this for so long.
Right.
He said, "Let me tell you something." He said I think he said at one point they went back outside and his lawyer had to convince him to go back in and continue the plea because he was literally kind of feeling like, she's telling me that I should go to trial. He's like, that's not what she's saying at all. Like, no, that she may be saying that, but you don't want to go to trial. They're going to put these people on the stand. They're all going to say that they all know you. Not that you lost their money, but they lent the money based on his credibility and how much and how likable this guy is. That's kind of the whole thing. And, it breaks down very quickly.
Listen, I'm thrilled to hear it's 5 years. I mean, because that's just clearly an injustice that he had to end up eating the charge at all, based on what you told me. And I got hung up on the astronomical dollar amount of the loss. I thought that would just drag everything upward, and the judge giving him 13 years would be a bargain. But I'm glad he only gave him 5. So I'm thrilled to be wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about his prison sentence. His prison stay, by the way.
Yeah. Did you know him inside, or did? Okay.
No, I know
met
him now. I
from the
interviewed
show.
him.
Okay, yeah.
And I know him now, and I love him.
Yeah, right.
We went to San Diego together.
Oh, okay, cool.
Listen, this guy, every time we have a conversation, it's almost a whole story in and of itself. It's hilarious. He's great. You would love him.
Good.
Just a super character in general. But so, once they sentence him, he knows he's going.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to this one prison, Taft. Is it a private federal prison?
Where at?
Taft. It's in California, I think. Taft Federal Prison.
Okay.
It's a private prison.
Yeah, I'm familiar with those.
Okay.
They give you the minimum amount of calories that are required to do by law.
So, did you look it up?
Yeah.
Where is it located? Might not be.
Let's see.
Is it
In Taft, California, Taft Correctional Institution was a low-security federal prison
That's gotta be
for
it.
male inmates located in Taft, Kern County, California.
Yeah, must be it. Okay, so Taft, California, Taft Prison. I want to say maybe it's whatever. Colby said it was a low. I felt like it was a camp, but that's fine, whatever, low camp.
Yeah.
So, but it's a private prison. Just before, so he's let out and allowed to turn himself in. It's only 5 years.
Yeah.
So he has several months while he's waiting. Keep in mind, the bulk of his friends have stuck around him because
Post-sentence, pre-reporting day.
yes,
Okay.
Vincent knows it's 5 years, got to turn himself in 90 days or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's still out. He's still playing golf. He's still hanging out with his buddies. And the bulk of his friends, he said, like, stuck with him, right? Like, some of them, he said, turned around and walked the other way.
Yeah.
He said, but, you know, anybody that knows him, he's like, knows I didn't do this. So he's like, and, you know, it's great. It's great because you get to know who your real friends are.
Yeah.
And so he said he was playing golf one day, or I forget how it happened exactly, but one of his buddies said, listen, there's a guy, or maybe it's a lawyer or whatever, there's a guy that you pay money to and he can get you sent to a certain place in the federal system. No, this is true. I know multiple. And by the way, this was a great thing. It's usually $3,500, $4,500.
This is like our buddy Walt, who can like
kind of.
Right.
And Walt knows this guy, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
There's actually a guy you could pay. He's like a lawyer or something. He has contacts. He can usually get you moved. If he can't get you moved to the prison that you want, he'll give you the money back. Which I thought, what a bonus, right?
Yeah.
So you give him $4,500, whatever. So he thinks, so before that happens, he goes and they say, we want you to get yourself sent to this prison.
Okay.
He says, okay. Gives the guy some money, whatever. And if I'm getting anything wrong, James, I'm sorry. Okay, hold on, it's good.
No, we're
This
good.
is worth it.
We're good.
You're gonna love this. so he goes to somehow or another. He gets introduced to the guy who owns the prison.
Okay.
The private prison
right.
who built the prison and owns it and is running it for the federal government.
The defendant meets
that guy.
Meets the owner. Okay. Yeah.
And he meets him, shakes his hand. They talk for a little bit, and he says, "Look, you're going to understand if you do get here and this and that. I'll come see you once you're settled in. I'll come see you. Make sure you're doing okay." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, okay, great." He's like, "So I don't really know."
Yeah.
You know. He goes. He said, after about 6 weeks of being there, he gets called up to like the lieutenant's office. Right? They call him up. Comes up, and he goes up there, and the guy walks in. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "Stand here." He goes, "Do you know Roger Johnson?" And he's like, Yeah, I know, old friend of the family. He's like, well, he's coming to see you right now. He's like, "Oh, okay." And so when he gets there, Johnson gets there or whatever, he says, "Listen, Mr. Johnson, we can move this to the warden's office or whatever they call it, the such and such office, because I don't think it's private, so I don't think they call them those." But and he goes, "No." James gives him a big hug. He's like, "You understand? The inmates can see this."
That the owner of the prison.
The owner. So they do a whole thing, and he's like, "Is everything okay? How are you doing? You being treated right? Is everything?" And he's like, "Yeah." And keep in mind, everybody, all the officials, because they're around this guy, right? They can't let anything happen to this guy.
Right.
They're around him. They're watching him hug and hang out with this inmate.
and supplicate to him.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything. He's like, "Well, yeah, no, everything's good. Everything's good." He's like, "Is there anything, everything work? Is everything working in the unit?" He said, "Well, there's a couple of the, like the microwaves don't work and some issue with one of the TV, but it's not a big deal." No. He said, "Write down what's wrong. Give it to Lieutenant so-and-so or whoever." And it's like some woman who's there, and she's like, "I'll take care of it immediately." And so what happens is he gets back and he goes and says, "Look, this is the list that, and he said within a day, he said they are going and grabbing shit and bringing it and fixing the
Reminds me of
TVs.
that scene in Goodfellas where they're like slicing the garlic thin.
When you hear this, him tell, if you heard him tell the story, you would be going, "This is insanity." And he goes, of course, now the other inmates, and this is a low, by the way, so it's not like, "Hey, you're a cop," and like they hate you. They're like in shock.
This guy's got juice.
And they're coming to him saying, "Listen, man, I'm in B1, and our TVs." Whatever. And he's like, "Okay, well, I can't promise you. I'll mention it." And he writes it down. And then 24 hours later, they come in, yank the TV off, and put a brand new flat screen in.
Do you think it made it to the CEO, or you think that the staff there understood that this guy's got juice? And
No, he'd go because whoever, let's say the manager, what they call like the warden, whatever, that person was a woman at the time, and he said, literally, you could go up to them like at chow. They'll go to chow.
Yeah.
And so you can walk up. Usually you stand in line and wait to get called, right?
Yeah.
So he would walk up and she would see him. She'd go, "James, come here. What's going on? What's up?" He'd go, And look, I understand you're busy. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need?" And she was just told, "You fucking take care of this dude."
Wow.
And he'd give him the thing, and he said, 24 hours. Boom. Fixed. fixed.
Charmed.
So everybody. So he did not have the same
He did not
prison.
have the Matt Cox
No.
experience.
It's so funny to hear him
There's
talk.
an argument that he shouldn't have been there in the first place. So
Yeah, but it's and it also makes me feel good that he didn't, he's not getting into fights and having to be, I'm walking around with a shake so he doesn't get, killed or stabbed or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's got a ton of funny, hilarious stories. But I thought you would find that super funny.
Good. And he has an episode on your show, right?
He does. He has an episode
I
on
will
my
check
show.
it out. Thank you for telling me.
Christopher Whitman owned a company, and this is in 2008. He owned a company called United Logistics. It was out of Albany, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And
Trucking company?
it's a trucking company, yeah. And they have they move things for the Marine Corps.
Got it. They had a government contract to move Marines from camp whatever to base whatever.
No, not the Marines. Equipment.
Interesting.
Shipping,
Okay.
like we're shipping in, 4,000
not
gallons
not the
of milk.
personal goods of the soldiers, but the the Marine Corps. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, if they have to
moving
move
them,
something, they throw it on the truck. And,
it's
all
like a
kinds
corporate
of
account for that.
Right.
Yeah.
clothes, whatever. And of course, a lot of that he subs out.
Yeah.
Right. So he's just a kind of a middleman once again.
Most of these trucking companies are.
Right.
Yeah. And then they have the independent operators driving the trucks.
Exactly. So he figures out one time a glitch in the system, which is he realizes that the Marine Corps wants to have these items on these 3 pallets moved to Lakeland,
Yeah.
and they also want to have something moved to Tampa.
Okay.
But they don't realize that all of this can be placed on the same shipment, right? The same truck.
Right.
And so what he ends up doing is he starts billing.
Double billing.
Yeah, he's double billing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, each pallet is $750 to get moved. You got 3 pallets, it's a whatever, $22.50, $21.50, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's what that's going to cost. And then there's another pallet that's another $750. So he starts double billing everybody.
Right.
Putting it all in the same truck and then making sure. So it starts slow and he gets away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Then he starts getting very friendly with the logistics agents or managers that do this inside of the military.
Okay.
And what he does is he figures
those people are his points of contact with his client.
yes. So he's calling up and he starts bribing them, because they get very friendly and they start saying, for expedited movements, they pay like 3 times as much, right? So instead of $750, it's like $2,200.
Yeah.
If you can get this done we need this done in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they end up, but keep in mind, it's still a bid. It's still bidding.
Yeah.
So what he does is they say, look, we want to move.
Is every shipment its own bid, or he has the contract that he's bid for?
Probably a combination of different types of things.
Got it.
I want to say it's every bid, but he's getting a lot of the bids.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a trucking company that's right there.
Okay.
So, and a lot of these guys don't sign up. You have to get vetted and everything, but he's vetted.
Yeah.
So he ends up going to them, and this is one of the things this is really kind of how he got caught. He says, hey, they have a lot of equipment, right? Because it's the military, right? They have tons of bulldozers, but they're not using bulldozers all the time.
Right.
So they've got 80 bulldozers. So they say, hey, we want to move these 4 bulldozers. But they have to be moved right away to over here to a private facility.
Okay.
And he's bribing these guys. And so they'll put in the bid that he knows this has been coming for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So he already has guys lined up. So they put in the bid. He immediately bids. He gets the bid because he can do it within 24 hours. And nobody else can because they didn't know this was coming like he did 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So he gets a nice chunk of money right away, whatever it is, $8,000, whatever.
Yeah.
He comes in, has these guys waiting. They go pick it up. Here's where it gets even crazy. Then he drops it off at this facility, but they only drop off 3 tractors.
Okay.
There was 4. He drops off 3. But the people on the base don't know that there's not 4 sitting in here.
Right.
So he has the tractor refurbished and sold.
He rips off the tractor.
Right.
Okay.
By the way, so this goes on for like
So he's overbilling, he's paying bribes, and he's stealing the actual physical items that he's supposed to be moving.
and one more.
Okay.
He's also on the express, right? These express movements
For quick
of delivery,
ships, yeah.
right? That he's getting paid $4,000 or $5,000 a piece on. He's then going to the independent contractor truckers, and he's saying, "You're going to get $8,000. I need you to give me back 2." So he's also getting kickbacks,
Okay.
bribes, kickbacks, theft, sales.
Yeah.
Okay. This goes on for, I want to say, well, actually, I know, for 4 years.
All right.
After 4 years, you're not going to believe this, but the military actually does an audit periodically.
Sure.
And they say, I'm not sure why all of these tractors and offloaders and cranes have to be moved within 24 hours.
Yeah, what's the rush?
Why was there a rush on so many of these?
It's a good catch from the auditors.
Right. So that ends up sparking, this huge internal audit. Then they really get crazy and look into everything, and very quickly, people start cooperating,
Yeah.
and the whole thing goes to shit. And Whitman ends up getting himself indicted. So the investigating people were the FBI and the Defense Criminal Investigative Services, right? And the
DCIS.
yeah. So, like I said, probes turn into audits, turn into law enforcement investigation.
What city did he plead guilty in, or what state?
Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
So he ends up. So what they uncover is that he grossed $37 million.
Wow.
Yeah, in 4 years.
Wrongfully. Like that's the
Well, it was yes,
Right.
yes, yeah, wrongfully, and $20 million in government losses.
Okay.
All right, so he, even though multiple people roll over immediately and are ready to testify against him, he decides, fuck that, I'm going to trial.
Okay.
Why you would go to trial, I don't know.
Bad advice from an attorney, probably. But
Yeah, so he's, by the way, after the trial, he's obviously, this is in March of 2015, he's he's convicted of fraud, bribery, theft, and obstruction of justice.
yeah.
Not sure why the obstruction of justice. Nicest guy. Nicest
They
guy.
all are.
Young.
They all are. Yeah.
Young, too. He wasn't like he was like 50 or something. He was like in his 30s or late 30s, maybe early 40s.
Yeah.
Worked out all the time, as people do. But that was it. Yeah, nice guy. So how much time
8 years.
with
8 years.
8 years?
8 years in prison.
He went to trial.
And lost 8 years.
So $20 million in loss, went to trial.
Yes. No criminal history. 8 years.
No criminal history. 22 years.
Wow, really?
22 years, listen to this. And he has to surrender $18.8 million plus over 100 properties, including vehicles, boats, and rentals.
They threw the book at him, didn't they?
Yeah.
And
Well,
you-
if you're so overwhelmingly guilty, why would you go to trial? Like, doesn't a judge have to be like, man, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, I'll make the counter argument. It's his right. It's not a tactically smart move, but it's his right. To force the government to rise to its burden of proof.
You know how many people I've met that it's like the government, like, they offered me 3 years, 5 years, and then they go to trial and they get like 19, 20, and you're like, and you hear their case and you're like, you're so overwhelmingly guilty.
What was this guy like? Because you knew him in the joint, right?
I mean, very personable.
Yeah.
White guy, like I said, late 30s.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I can recall, I don't know what he is now, but
Yeah.
Just the nicest guy.
Do guys like that spend a lot of time
friendly,
rationalizing their behavior and saying how they got screwed and they didn't really do it, or are they comfortable with the idea that I was guilty, I got caught?
That's exactly like he was like that. He wasn't saying like, no, you don't understand, like this is normal.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that. He was like, yeah, I was doing this, I was doing that. I just didn't think, I didn't think they could prove it.
that's
I didn't
right.
think so. He wasn't.
He'd come to terms with the fact that he did something wrong, and that's what he was paying.
Yeah, I think he just thought he could win, or maybe he thought he'd get a better deal if he went to trial.
Is he still inside?
I'm 2015. Yeah, he's still or he might be getting out soon. He'll probably getting out soon. Yeah, he's got to still be in prison.
Oh, that's a harsh sentence.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
bet he would have gotten a few years if he pled guilty.
Well, I have a new appreciation for what you go through.
It's agony. It's agony, is what it is.
All right.
Poor guy.
I'm gonna say 5 of 12. I'm gonna say this episode was a Tom victory. So
It's
By a
not
hair.
my victory.
Not a
It's
victory.
not
By
my
a
victory.
hair.
yeah,
I am.
by hair.
I'm an impartial arbiter here. I'm not looking for Matt to lose. I want Matt to have the courage of his convictions, though, when he guesses a number.
It's not true. I
do.
You move me. You keep moving me. Just weakness on my part.
Don't. Yeah.
really.
Well, I think that's the. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated.
Tom was very solid on his answers. He's like, "This is it."
Well, and I was wrong, so
Yeah.
it did, for all the good that did me. But I'm hoping my confidence came through to your audience. But that's what the sentences should have been. But judges they be wildin'.
I'm shocked that you admitted to murdering that woman on the cruise.
I know. I did a murder on a cruise ship.
Oh, all right. Well,
So what do you do nowadays?
Oh yeah. So
oh,
I'm so glad you asked. I'm a private investigator now. I retired from the FBI after 26 years of service, and I now have a private investigative agency licensed in Florida and 7 other states. But I honestly work in all 50 states because most of the cases I work are fraud cases. And so if I'm working in a state where I'm not licensed, I hold myself out as a forensic accountant. But the bottom line is I can investigate fraud cases for people who've been victimized. And that's mostly what I do. And so if there's anyone here watching, Matt Cox fan, you're welcome to contact me. Go to simoninvestigations.com, and I do free consultations all the time for Matt Cox viewers. And so, I'm not looking to make money off of a phone call. And if there's something I can do to help you recover the money that was stolen from you, or refer this case to my former colleagues at the FBI for whatever investigation they deem appropriate, I'd be honored to be able to help you. So feel free to contact me. You should also follow me on my social media, which is at Simon Investigations on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I do these 2 or 3 minute crime stories every day that usually end in the sentence, and that's kind of where I'm drawing from these cases that I present to Matt. I also do public speaking. If you have a group or organization or company that brings in outside speakers, I'd be honored if you could introduce me to the person who hires speakers for your organization. And mostly, I just want to thank you for watching, and I'm really, really proud to be part of the Matt Cox family.
I didn't know you were licensed in 7 states.
Well, Florida has reciprocity with 7 states.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what does that take? Like, did you have to take a test or
Yeah.
something? Okay.
Yeah, you take a test in Florida, that gives you the 7 states. I'm able to play it cute because I'm not doing surveillance work or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be found in like North Dakota sitting in a car in some subdivision with my binoculars.
You're not sitting in a Walmart parking
I'm sure. Why
lot.
would that be illegal anyway? Like, why can't I?
You can't. It's called stalking if you're following people around.
No, but I guess you can't get paid for it.
Yeah. There's also that.
I
And,
know guys that do it for free.
Yeah. But because I'm not doing those type of cases, I'm doing fraud investigations and expert witness testimony and things like that. I can work in all 50 states, and I do. I have a good firm, and I'm proud of my little one-man firm. Yeah.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this. Also, if you like this episode, we're going to be having a playlist so that you can go to the playlist and it'll play all 12, 13, 14, 15. By the time you see there may be 30 of these things in the playlist. Look, Tom's like, oh my God, 30. If you're interested in being, we're also going to leave all of Tom's social media links in the description box. Also, we're going to leave our website in case you want to be a guest. You can go to our website. You can go to the Be a Guest page, fill out a very brief application, and leave like a 3-minute video, and we will get in contact you. Thank you very much. See ya.
Be cool.